We're ready.
Where last we left off, you guys, having successfully recovered the Stone of Galore, made your way to a seemingly abandoned windmill just outside of the city limits. While traversing through the windmill, you found that it was in fact inhabited by an elderly man who took care of a woman that he mentioned was a famous painter within the city of Waterdeep. The woman's name, if I can find it, was Kalain. You knocked on her door, managed to coax her out, and she seemed to be quite hysterical. You threatened at one point, Rotund threatened at one point to slay Vaspar, and that set her over the edge, causing her to attack you. Part of the attack also happened to include rats that she had somehow charmed living in the windmill to attack you, and she also seemed to possess the ability to take the monstrous drawings, the monstrous paintings that she had created, and bring them to life, causing you to fight against a number of particularly nasty monsters. However, you did manage to slay her. In the process, the very elderly man screamed outside of the window for help, trying to attract attention of somebody, anybody who would hear, right before Rotund smacked him over the head with his warhammer, killing him instantly. You explored the
Hooray!
Hooray! You explored the windmill a little bit further to find that there was in fact a secret passage leading into some apparently abandoned or half abandoned dwarven ruins. Using the three keys, including the severed dwarven hand, the eye stalk of a beholder, and the ear of a bugbear, you managed to make your way in, coming across a couple of interesting traps that had been set within this place, mostly magical in nature. For instance, Draloff was at one point enchanted by a fresco along the wall and nearly took out Rotund, and did quite a bit of damage to other members of the party before Treverin eventually fireballed the fresco and destroying it, which seemed to destroy the enchantment. You ventured along, exploring a little bit further before Rotund had been ambushed by a black pudding, a particularly nasty ooze that dissolves mostly non-organic material. However, over the course of this, the black pudding overwhelmed Rotund, causing the unfortunate death of your party member. You explored further on to find the eventual location of the vault itself, seeing in front of you a large collection, a very, very large collection of coins, as well as a slightly smaller but no less impressive collection of gems. During the course of this, you were intercepted, by all things, of a dwarf living down here, who introduced himself as Barock Klanghammer. He claimed that he had been living down here by instruction of Daggold Neverember in an effort to protect the gold that had been hiding here. Through Treveran's persuasion, he persuaded Barak to assist in meeting with the new Open Lord of the Waterdeep, Lariel Silverhand, and other members of the Lord's Alliance within the city, and it's as part of an effort to begin to restore the gold to the city, sharing with him that the gold had in fact been embezzled from the city's citizens. He agreed to accompany you, following behind you, so as to not so as to ensure that you didn't try anything tricksy, much to a little bit of the dismay of Julie, who seemed more than eager to start stuffing his pockets. Upon the way out, you recovered the body of Rotund, and just before you made your way out, you were intercepted by the mastermind behind it all, Jarlaxle Bay Endry, the dandy drow leader of Reagan Day Earth, and the mastermind behind the current rulings of the city of Luskin. He was accompanied by a couple of more drow gunslingers, as well as Isn't Mizram, a drow elf rogue who is in league with Jarlaxle and seems to have some sort of connection with Treverin, though the rest of you aren't entirely sure of the details. He, holding a blade to Treverin's throat, suggested that you simply leave. Jarlaxle insisted that he planned to return the gold to the city itself, ensuring, of course, that Luskin would get all due credit for doing so. However, he also seemed adamant about recovering the staff that Barock Klanghammer had in his possession, a staff that seemed to be a symbol of red and gold dragons intertwined with one another, and Barock seemed not all too keen on parting with it. At this, Treverin, damning the consequences, unleashed a spell against Jarlaxle, causing Jarlaxle to critically fail on his saving throw and burn the only legendary resistance that he has available to him. At this, combat has started. I need all the rest of you to roll initiative.
Killy, quick question.
Yes.
Because we have not quite introduced my character yet.
You're not quite there yet.
I know. Just a quick question.
Mm-hmm.
Spell wise, I'm sorry. It's prepared or what? It's the level.
Level plus or as that class wisdom score.
Okay. So.
And your domain spells don't count against it.
Yeah.
All right. So Kay with an 18, Julie with 10, Crow's got the 13, Darloff with the 20. All right. The round begins with Jarlaxle.
I'm sorry, Killy, I'm sorry. Just to make it clear, I had 10 temporary hit points. Do we still have those?
Yes, you should also have those.
Thank you.
Okay. Jarlaxle, all of you watch as, after you unleash the spell Treverin, Jarlaxle takes his free hand up to the tip of his feather cap, pulls out the feather, and blows on it. And as the feather expands out, you watch as beads of magic begin to kind of form from the feather in front of him as it begins to grow and expand into a large, colorful, flightless bird. And despite the stats of the axe beak that it has, this creature is called a diatrema.
Okay.
After he summons the creature, he is going to step off to the left a little bit, and he's done for his turn. Drelloff, what do you do?
So we're in battle with this little night elf dude beside me.
If y'all talking about this fella right here, yeah, he's got a blade kind of at Treverin's throat.
All right, I'm gonna take a swing at him then.
Okay.
I'm gonna use reckless attack as well.
Attaboy.
So do I turn that on or just turn? What do I do?
You click the advantage at the very top of your screen.
Okay, quick advantage. Turn on rage, and I'm gonna swing.
Go for it.
That's what I like to hear.
11 misses. 18 does not. Go ahead and roll your damage on that. All right. He will take the 8 points of damage. As you take the axe, there's a bit of a as he kind of grunts as the axe hits his side.
That's it for me.
Okay. At the end of your turn, Jarlaxle is going to use a legendary action in order to move up to his speed without provoking opportunity attacks. Switching behind the dwarf. The dwarf in question is going to retreat, causing Jarlaxle to take one strike against it, using his +3 rapier. And does that hit? It does not. The dwarf is surprisingly fast, and you begin to realize why. As he backs up further into the room, he will transform into his true self as the dwarven features melt away, giving form to that of a fairly large-sized dragon. A gold dragon at that. Make sure he's the right size. Yep. As he spawns, I need everyone, including the elves, including the bad guys, to make wisdom saving throws. And the elves in this case will have advantage.
Am I or no?
Not you yet.
Okay. Well, you said everyone.
Everyone except you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Shh.
All right, Jarlaxle saves.
Turn my
Drelloff saves. Julie saves. Drelloff, I'll count the 18 you save. Treverin
Okay.
saves. Kay saves. Nope, I'm sorry, Kay does not save. I'm sorry, I got that backwards. The DC is 21. So Julie does not save. Drelloff does not save. Treverin does not save. Jarlaxle saves. K does not save. All that means is you guys are considered frightful of the creature. And you're not
You broke off at the end.
said. So you guys, hang on. You guys are considered frightened of the creature. Which all that means for you is you
just
have
can't move towards
disadvantage.
him, right?
You cannot willingly move closer to it, and you have disadvantage on ability checks and attack rolls while the source of the fear is within line of sight. It's unfortunately something he does, despite being an ally of yours. It's unfortunately something he does not
Control.
control.
It's quite fine with me.
All right, so Jarlaxle saved, and something Isn't was never very good at. Isn't fails.
He's never been the wisest person.
The
And-
Diamitra fails,
And the
and the
aching boot.
Gunslingers. 1, 2, both fail. So everyone except for Jarlaxle is frightened of the dragon. And once he finishes transforming, he is then going to use his action and breathe a large breath of fire in a 60-foot cone out in the direction of the gunslingers. And let's drag that out so we can get a good look at it. Yep, should still hit just the two of them. So they will have to make dexterity saves. 1, 2. DC 21. Both of them succeed, so they'll take half damage, which is still going to be a shit ton.
No, DC 21. One of them fails. One of them saves.
Oh, you're right. All right, so 70 points of damage. Badly injures one. And still pretty badly injures the other one. But they're both still standing. All right. That's the end of his turn. At the end of his turn, Jarlaxle is going to use his other legendary action. Two of them, in fact. To make one attack against you, Dreloff, with his +3 rapier, since you're within range. Forgot to do that with advantage. Not to do that with advantage. But I'm going to count the first roll of 32.
Holy crap.
You take 15 points of piercing damage from the initial attack with the rapier.
I'm raged, so that's
Halved to 7. Plus,
Roll.
because he didn't use it earlier, he's also going to add his sneak attack damage to it. Because Isn't is nearby. Which is going to be an additional 25 points for damage, reduced to 12.
I'm at 30.
All right.
And yes, I took the 10 away first.
Gotcha. All right, Isn's turn is next. He is frightened of the creature, and the creature is within line of sight. But not mistaking the opportunity, he's going to attempt to still, with disadvantage, attack you, Treverin.
That's fine.
Critical fail. Second attack, offhand. Critical fail.
Wow.
Does that mean he stabs himself instead?
No, it means he tries to go in for the stab, but his hands are shaking and he's not able to steady himself. He's going to repeat the wisdom save at the end of his turn, again with advantage because he's a dark elf. Not high enough. The irony is, based on his stat block, he would have to crit in order to beat the beat the DC. All right, so that was Isn's turn. Kay, you're up.
You can keep giving him a hard time. He was good at two things: stabbing and thieving. I'll run up the side, Jarlaxle here, and I'll give him a taste of my mind.
Okay.
I'm going give him a curse.
Okay.
And I'm going to switch to my great sword and try to see if I can hit him with it, I suppose.
Okay. What ability of his are you cursing?
Let's do dexterity.
Dex. Okay.
Oh no, that's hex, not.
I'm sorry, my bad. Just the Hexblade's curse. Okay. All right. All right. You swing
Wow.
at the sword, and
Oh.
he definitely dodges both attacks.
Alrighty then. Well, that's it.
Okay. Just double checking the range on something. Okay. At the end of your turn, the dragon is going to use a legendary action to make a tail attack against one of the gunslingers. Which hits, doing 19 points of bludgeoning damage to him, badly hurting him. Treverin, what do you do?
So this is what I'm going to do. Just checking one thing real fast. Yep. Okay. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pull a little gem out of my pocket,
Attaboy.
and I'm going to slam it as hard as I can right here.
Okay. That's the water elemental?
Yep.
Okay. So taking the gem and throwing it kind of over your shoulders, you watch as it splashes, as it cracks and deforms, and then water builds out of it, and it grows and grows and grows into this creature.
And I don't know if I can give it a command or anything like that, but my command is to attack Draxel whenever it comes around, if it allows me.
Okay.
Unless you're going to give me the stat sheet.
I am not, because you
Okay.
basically give it commands.
Yep, that's what I kind of figured. So I'm a candidate to attack Draxel.
Yep.
And then, as a bonus action, I'm going to... Actually, I'm not. One sec. I can't.
I will say that it's counted as you concentrating on the spell, so if you break concentration, the elemental goes wild.
Yeah, nope. You know what? Yeah, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna burn 2 sorcery points to go ahead and give myself back another level 1 slot.
Okay. That's your bonus action for the turn?
Yep. Yes, it is.
All right. All right. The water elemental is still technically within line of sight of the dragon down there, so he's going to have to make a wisdom save, which he's uncertain, most certainly going to fail because he's got a -3 modifier. So he is frightened. As you enter turn, then, because you guys are technically frightened of the creature as well, I need you, Kay, because I forgot about you, and Draloff, because I forgot about you, to go ahead and repeat your wisdom saves.
Yeah, I'll never be able to succeed if it's 21, so there's no real
Oh.
point in me running it
Okay.
because I have
What
a
if you
0.
what if you crit? Is that an automatic success?
No.
Not necessarily. No.
Ah,
You'd
just
have to be. You'd have to hit 21 at least. So
Yeah,
if you got a negative wisdom score, then odds are you'll never beat it.
I'll never beat it, so there's no point in me really running that at the moment.
Okay. The gunslingers will go next after the end of your turn. Using what they can for cover at this point, now being quite frightened of the dragon and his tail, they're going to pop out, fire their guns at the dragon, and then pop right back in. And they're going to have disadvantage on the attack because, they just can see it. So the first attack will not hit. The second attack will hit. All right. He doesn't have any resistances. All right. So the dragon actually does take a few points of damage there. Then once they retreat behind cover, they'll make their saves, trying to shake out the fears. Nope. And yes, so one of the drows is no longer feared. One of the gunslingers is no longer feared. All right. I think that's their turn. Julie, you're up.
All right, I can't move any closer to the
The source of
dragon,
your fear.
correct?
So long as it's within line of sight.
Gee, then, okay. Can I,
Oh, you know what? I'm sorry. I read this wrong. Each creature of the dragon's choice. The dragon would not have chose you because you're on its side, so you're not frightened of it.
Oh well. Shit.
Oh, well, in that case,
I'm sorry, my bad.
Now he
Uh,
knows it.
move up on this dark elf. I was gonna say, because then if that was the case, then Julie with his -1 wisdom modifier would never ever be able to fight a dragon.
That would have critical hit the shit out of Jarlaxle.
I'm gonna take a. What is just Jarlaxle have disadvantage because of what you whammied him with?
Yes. Well, no, he just hit him with that X-Blade's curse. He didn't hit him with X.
Right. So my chances of I think my chances of hitting him are slim to none.
You'd have an easier time hitting the dragon.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go for the dark elf,
Okay.
and then my plan is to make quick work of the dark elf and continue on to the Axebeak.
Okay, so you go after Isn't then.
Yes, I
Okay.
moved myself.
All right.
2 attacks.
All right. Crit. Crit.
Love champion. Okay. First attack.
God. All right, he's going to uncanny dodge in order to half that.
Okay. Second attack.
All right, he's got to take the full brunt of that one.
Not that that's not a lot of damage. Was that counting his crit? Is your macro working correctly?
It's 4d6,
That's correct.
and they
Yeah.
did re-roll plus 4. So yeah, that looks right. I'm looking at the
Okay.
math. It looks right.
All right.
Yep.
I just want to make sure it wasn't like double damage or something like that.
No,
Even
no.
a crit.
It. You can see the formula if you hover over the.
Yeah, I
thing.
did. I just want to make sure it was right.
Yep.
Okay.
All right, you done for your turn?
Yes, I'm done.
Okay. Next is the Axebeak, which is going to shift, or I should say the Diametrum, which is going to shift. 15, 20, 20. Over here, right up next to you. I think that was enough. No, he can't quite get there, actually. All right, he's going to get there then. And he's done for the turn.
Sorry about
Yeah.
that. I meant to post the macro for you guys to see for my crit damage. I ended up
Alright.
actually re-rolling damage again. That's weird.
Okay. All right. So, at the end of the round, those of you who are looking down can see rushing their way down the stairs is 2 more drow. These ones are not wielding guns, but instead wielding a couple of short swords each one. And as they rush down, they see the dragon, and they have to make wisdom saves. One of them succeeds, one of them fails. And there's their initiative. All right. There's no way they have more initiative than Jarlaxle, really? No. All right, Jarlaxle goes first. Jarlaxle is going to, seeing the water elemental nearby, seeing the dragon, seeing his goal in place, is actually just going to straight up shift over towards the dragon, not worrying too much about attacks of opportunity. So the water elemental will take a swing as it was instructed before. Wow, and critting.
And
Guess
then
he
me
should
and
have been
Rotund,
worried about it.
Yeah.
me and Draloff as well.
Draloff can take an attack of opportunity. Kay, you can take an attack of opportunity.
And
You
is
miss.
he doing concentration on his little axe beak that he has to now check to see if he still maintains since he took
Nope.
damage? Okay.
Not
Just thought I'd
concentration.
ask. Okay.
So 21 does not hit. Neither does 11. However, that crit's going to hit him. And I think he's... No, I'm going to save the uncanny dodge. He's going to take the full brunt of that. So he's a little annoyed about that, but he's going to move up right next to the dragon, seeing his goal in place. He's going to command his agents to get in there and help, and he is going to... He's actually going to lean back, and he's going to attempt to cast Fairy Fire on the lot of you back there, including on Isn't. I think. No, I take that back. He can arrange it to where it does not land on Isn't. So 20-foot square, which will land... Oh... Nah, you know what? It'll land on Isn't. 2. Or attempt to. I need all of you to make dexterity saving throws.
Well, I tried.
I fucking crit failed that shit.
And the DC to beat is 17. I just want to make sure Isn't doesn't get disadvantage. Oh, no, just... Okay. Alright. Alright, so Isn't saves. Drelov, Kay, and Julie. Okay. The 4 of you are affected by the fairy fire. You are outlined in blue sort of flames. Any attack rolls against you have advantage if the attacker can see you, and you cannot benefit from being invisible. So I'm just going to mark you with some blue dots. And then the elemental also has to make a save. And he crit fails, so he's also affected. All right.
Do I know that the elemental's afraid of the dragon?
Probably not.
Okay.
All right, so that would be his action for the turn, as you guys are alighted in that. The Drow Elves, one is going to stay back and hide because he is scared. No, I take that back. He's going to pull out a hand crossbow. And is going to fire it with disadvantage over at Treveran's direction. That doesn't hit. The arrow goes wide and sinks right into the nearby wall. It's not even close. The other one comes in, who is not afraid, up next to the dragon, looking a little afraid, but taking 2 short swords, he's going to attempt to slice into it. Oops, did not roll that with disadvantage. We'll count the 16 and the 13. Both attacks don't land anyway. And he is done for the turn. Drelov, you're up next.
I'm going to reckless attack. Isn't whatever his name.
All right, if you're reckless, you got advantage. So, crit on the first hit.
So let me roll again. All right.
So that means roll your damage for your crit. That's going to be counted. If you're reckless attacking, that's going to be your first attack. And you crit. Okay, so 17 points of damage. He is going to uncanny dodge to reduce that to 8.
And I need to roll again, right?
He can't uncanny dodge again. It hasn't been his turn again.
Yep, you're right. So. All right. Now.
Per round, or is it per?
It's a reaction.
It's a reaction.
Oh, okay.
So we can only use it once per when it comes back to him.
Once per round, more or less. All right. So Drelov, that's your first attack. You got a second attack. All right, 21 hits as well. All right, 9 points of damage. He's still standing, but he's looking pretty bad off.
All right.
All right, is that your turn?
Yeah.
All right. The dragon is... Well, before he goes, Jarlaxle is actually going to use his legendary action to make an attack with his rapier against it. No, ow, gross. All right, the dragon is going to first see if he gets his breath back. He does. However, he's in kind of a close quarters here, and he doesn't really want to hit you guys. So he's going to turn around in Jarlaxle's direction, and he is going to bite and claw against him. One bite, 2 claws. 1 crit fail on the claw. The other claw does not hit. The bite does. The bite will hit for 23 points of damage, and Jarlaxle will uncanny dodge to reduce that to 11. All right. That's the dragon's turn. Kay, you're up.
All right, so this time around, I'm going to charge at him again and attempt to give him 2 more great swords.
Okay. Both
Fucking
miss.
great, man. +8. I rolled fucking 2. And then let's see. I'm gonna cast Hunger of Hadar right in between these 3 goons.
Okay. It's a 20-foot circle?
Yep.
20-foot radius sphere.
Right there.
Okay.
Hold up a little bit. Like right there.
All right. So the inky blackness shoots up and kind of fills with the soft whispers in the void. Alrighty. Is that your turn then?
That is my turn.
All right. At the end of your turn, the dragon is going to use a legendary action, 2 of them. No, just 1, to make a tail attack against Jarlaxle. Missing. All right. Isn't on his turn is had enough of this and is going to disengage as an action.
Actually, it's a bonus action.
Yes, you're right. So he is going to disengage as a bonus action. And as he's disengaging, he's going to cast, because he's a drow, this on top of you. Casting it right there. There we go. As he retreats back just around the corner. And then he'll attempt to repeat his wisdom save. Which I forgot to do on the other elite warrior now that I think about it. He fails. And that warrior still fails. Okay. So, after Isid retreats back, the elemental's turn is next. There is only darkness in front of him, so the sorcerer's sphere is not within sight. His command was to attack Jarlaxle. He knows the general direction in which it is in. So he is going to shift, as soon as I send this to the back, shift as best he can in the general vicinity of where he is, able to do so because until he gets out of there, he's, and because he's water form, he can shift and move between everybody's location. So as it definitely shifts around UK, he is actually going to... Nah, it's just going to move right there and attempt to make 2 slam attacks against Jarlaxle. Both missing. All right, at the end of his turn, the dragon is going to make another tail attack as a legendary action against Jarlaxle. Critting. Hitting Jarlaxle quite hard. Trevarin, you're up next.
I said since.
Okay.
Yep, I know. Since Izzet ran off, I moved there to get out of the darkness, and I'm gonna hit Draxel with magic missile.
Okay. All right. Ouch. All 3 of those are going to hit.
And then I'm gonna move back into the darkness.
Okay.
because I find it calming.
Okay. The gunslingers will go next. Because they're starting their turn in this mess, they both are going to take 2d6 cold damage. If you would like to roll that damage, K.
Faux
Oh,
show.
I guess they have to make a dex save or take 2d6 acid. I got it. So let's go ahead and make those quick first before I have you roll. Not mean to do that with advantage. So I'll count the 23 and the 12 as both the attacks. So one of them succeeds, one of them fails. Go ahead and
Well,
roll the 2d6.
if they start their turn in it, they take 2d6 cold damage regardless. If they end their turn in it, they make the dex save.
Any creature that starts its turn take. Yep, you're right. That's 2d6 cold. It's the ending that's the acid. You're right. All right. So go ahead and roll that 2d6.
So whoever's going to start in there is going to get hit.
Yep.
Oops.
I'll have you roll individually for the slingers, and then we'll worry about the elite warriors after the fact. All right. So they're both going to take 6 points of cold damage as the hungering void envelops around them. And the one who has succeeded on his save is going to get the GTFO. Moving right up next to Treverin. The other one is simply going to peek his head up and is going to fire a shot in case. You know what? They can't see you, Treverin, because you're in darkness. They can see.
That is correct. That's why I moved back into it.
Well, they can't. That guy can't walk closer, can he? If he failed. Oops.
The one guy can't. He can only peek his head out,
One
and that's
of
about as
them-
far as he can get.
One of them
So.
passed.
So because he can't see you, Kay, you're just barely out of the darkness. I'm going to say that this one's going to fire a shot at the dragon, and this one's going to fire a shot at you. So the one firing a shot at you is going to be a 17 to hit.
Miss. Actually, I lied. It'll hit me because I'm not wearing a shield.
So 5 piercing and 5 poison. Those are
That's-
shitty rolls.
My 10 temp are gone.
Okay, and I also need you to make a con save while you're focusing on Hunger of Hadar. All right, you're still maintaining it. And then the other one's going to fire at the water elemental. Missing. All right, and then he's going to retreat back in. He's got to make a wisdom save to see if he can shake
Nope.
free.
Oh, and a dex save.
Well, wisdom and dex save. Wisdom save against. Oh, meant to do that one with advantage. No, he's still afraid of the dragon. Dex save 19. He does not take the acid damage. Then I take it.
Nope.
All right. At the end of their turn, the dragon's going to use his last attack, his last legendary action, to make a tail attack. This time against the elite warrior to his side. Crit missing. All right, Julie, you're up. You are covered in darkness.
All right. I can't see anything, but I know the guy I was just hacking on ran by me. So I'm going to hold out my sword and run in this direction and hope I impale him.
Okay.
I get to here,
It's
and
a
I
very
can
Julie
see,
thing to say.
They're like,
and I can see, and I don't see him, so I stop. So that's 5, 10, 15. Hold on. No, so that's 20
feet.
20 feet. Do I have to make a perception check to see him?
I
here?
will say from where you. Yeah, go ahead and make a perception check because he's basically trying to hide.
Well, is it against my passive perception?
If you're actively looking
no,
for
I'm
him.
actively looking. So.
All right. Now he's proficient, so that 3 he rolled actually becomes a 10. So he rolls a 25.
I wish you the best of luck trying to find him, man.
All right, Julie is just kind of there with his sword, striking poses, like and looking around, trying to find his opponent.
Okay.
And if he pops out at me, I will hold my action. If he tries to attack me, I will strike him down.
Okay. Now there's one thing I forgot. Because Jolaxo got hit, he has to make a con save against the fairy fire,
wait,
I believe.
Yeah.
Jorlaxel does?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a con save.
Yeah, he's concentrating on the
Cheeky.
spell, and he actually got hit twice. So
Oh.
first from the magic missile and then from the tail.
No, I thought you said you got hit by the fairy fire. I was like, wait a minute.
No. All right, so he succeeds against the tail damage, and does not against the magic missile out of all things. So you guys aren't actually let up in the fairy fire anymore.
That's what I like to hear.
Okay, that's Julie's turn then. You watch as this large, colorful bird circumvents around the darkness right at you, Julie, and attacks.
Can I use my held action to attack it?
Sure.
Swing.
Die,
bada, bada, bada.
bird!
Doesn't that have a whole lot of health? 18 hits, so does 16.
Okay, attack number 1. Attack number
All right.
2. Is it dead?
Not off the first hit. Second hit will do it. All right. As you see this bird coming at you, you just take out your sword and impale it right through the chest. But instead of the normal blood that you would expect to see from such a creature, it just fades, and you watch as this beautiful golden, kind of golden blue sort of plume feather just floats gently to the floor.
Can I pick it up?
Sure.
I do so.
Gotta get something out of this fucking treasure hunt.
Okay.
No, I'm going
At
to
the
eat it
begin-
later.
All right. At the beginning of the round, Singe, you have made your way to Waterdeep some time ago after a very long voyage across the ocean. As you have been exploring the countryside, you have found a windmill where you found a couple of dark elves seem to be kind of scheming around. Based on your upbringing, you have a natural, if not outright hatred, at least skepticism of dark elven characters, and based on the teachings that you hold yourself to, you found yourself beholden to kind of track down exactly what it is they were doing. As you make your way down, you can peer into the room beyond, and you can see a beautiful golden dragon with the same scales as yourself is in the midst of fighting some of these creatures. Although the first thing you see when you descend down the stairs here is a couple of these dark elves in the midst of this swirling black void. So at the beginning of this round, you are now here. Go ahead and roll initiative.
Oh, shit. I can click on me because I was unused to me. If you could add that 14 in.
All right. All right. Jarlaxle is going to use this opportunity to do whatever he can to very quickly bring the dragon down, or at very least reduce its effectiveness. So he is going to take his rapier and make 3 attacks against the dragon. First attack is a miss. Second attack is not. Third attack is a natural 1. On the 1 hit, it will be 13 piercing plus his sneak attack for 44 points of damage.
Why does he get his sneak attack? He's not within 5 yards of anybody.
He does. As long as an ally is touching the character he's attacking, he gets advantage. He gets
Okay. All right.
So 44 points of damage to the Drake, and that's the end of his turn. I don't know why I keep setting him below the Elite Warriors, because that shouldn't be the case. All right. Go ahead and roll 2d6 cold damage against the Elite Warriors. All right, they both take 6 points of cold damage as the hungering darkness seems to kind of envelop around them. For the one that is afraid, he is going to briefly pop his head out and take a shot against the dragon using his crossbow. She has disadvantage on the roll. 13 is not going to hit. He's just going to duck again behind cover. The one who is not afraid is going to shift up out of the darkness and taking his short swords is going to make two attacks against the dragon. And both attacks are going to miss. All right. And the one who's still in there is going to make a wisdom save. He is no longer frightened of the dragon. However, he has to make a dex save against the darkness, which he fails. Go ahead and roll 2d6 acid for him.
Yep. I forgot you have to put a space in it for some reason.
All right. He takes that damage. At the end of their turn, Jarlaxle is going to use a legendary action to swiftly dance around, take his rapier, and attempt to stab UK.
Yeah, that'll hit.
All right. He already used his sneak attack, so 13 points of damage coming your way. Drelloff, you're up next.
Hmm.
You're in the middle of this darkness.
Well,
All right.
I'm gonna swing at the gunslinger.
All right. He turns around with this kind of a shocked look on his face. He didn't expect you coming from that direction. 26 hits. Go ahead and roll damage. All right. First attack lands. He watches bits of blood begin to eke out from near his neck. He quickly grasps onto it, checks his hand, sees the blood, and pulls out his pistol and begins to kind of aim it in your direction. Go ahead and make your second attack. 20 hits. Roll damage. He's not quite dead. He's on the edge of death, but he's not quite dead. Alrighty. Next is the dragon's turn. He's already got his breath, but he's kind of enclosed and doesn't really have a good space to use it without clipping a few of you. So in exchange, he is instead going to simply make attacks against Jarlaxle.
Hey, my spell isn't up anymore. I
Oh,
forgot to make a
gotcha.
con save.
Thank you. All right. So he's going to make a couple of bites and claw attacks against Jarlaxle. That's a miss. That's a miss. That's a hit. All right. And Jarlaxle 1, can he dodge to reduce the damage of that? And that's the dragon's turn. Isn't you're up, is up next. I'm isn't. Actually,
I was like, sure, I'll stab.
Sure, I'll stab.
I'm just double checking dex scores. All right. Isn't is going to reach into his bag, pull out a greater healing potion, and heal himself because he's fucking almost dead. Healing himself for 12 hit points. And then he's going to retreat back over here. And he's got to make a wisdom save. The crit's going to come one of these days. Okay, you're up.
All right, let's go for it. Third time's the charm.
All right, that crit's going to land. Ow.
It was only a matter of time.
Okay. The elemental is next.
You gotta make
having
a con save, don't you?
The darkness isn't not Jarlaxle's.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
The fairy fire was his, and that's dropped. All right, the elemental on his turn is going to make 2 slam attacks against Jarlaxle. Both attacks missing. Singe, you're up.
Singe is going to. These guys see me. Out of curiosity, these two here. Yeah.
They do now.
Okay, so they're aware that I'm coming, even though they're kind of like hidden behind the thing.
They're more worried about the dragon, the big golden dragon, but they see you and kind of make the connection. You might be aligned with this guy.
I'm going to move to
They're not
here.
about to take chances.
I'm going to move to there, and I'm going to Dragon's Breath both of them.
Attaboy. All right.
And hold on. Oh wait. So I'm going to wait. I do not have that set up in my attacks. I don't think.
It should be at the
Oh yeah,
very,
there
very
it goes.
bottom. I
There it
set it
goes.
up. All right. So 5 points of fire damage. They have to make dex saves. So the warrior that you're immediately next to is going to take half damage at 2 points. And the one behind him, the gunslinger, is going to fail, taking the full 5 points of damage. He's looking badly hurt too. Both the gunslingers look like they're kind of on their last legs here. All right, you done for your turn?
Yeah.
Okay. At the end of your turn, the dragon is going to use a legendary action to make a tail attack against the warrior right next to him. Hitting for 18 bludgeoning. Yeah. Alrighty. That's their turn. Trevelyan, you're up.
Okay. I'm going to first move this way
Okay.
out of the darkness and tell Julie, don't kill Isn't, the one you're chasing. Just knock him unconscious. And then I'm going to turn around and hit Dralaxel with some more magic
You
missiles.
can't see him.
I'm gonna eat his liver.
I can't see through. Oh,
You can see through the darkness.
that's right. It's not my darkness.
You can't.
Lay
Unless
your
you got
darkness on top of his darkness.
It will cancel each other out.
Let's see. I was here. 1, 2, 5. Hold on. See how far I moved. 25 feet. Okay, that's fair enough. Then what I'm also going to do is move 10 more feet over here.
Okay. All right. At the end of your turn, the dragon's going to make another tail attack against the elite warrior. That one misses. Alrighty. The gunslingers for their turn. The one right next to you, Draloff, is going to pull out. Now, you know what? He's just going to fire his weapon at you. And the one behind is also going to fire his weapon at you. And he. What's the weight range on those things? 30 feet or 90 feet with disadvantage. So. Alright. So, because the dragon from where this guy is actually out of line of sight, he's not going to have disadvantage on the attack as they both fire their guns at you. Crit fail. And not much better. Alright, both attacks just go wide. And they curse themselves. They curse in their breath in Undercommon. The one who is still hiding has got to repeat the wisdom save. Critting. He is no longer frightened. Not that I think it matters based on circumstances. All right, Julie, you're up.
Julie doesn't see his opponent, and he can't see past the darkness. So he'll run around it. And I believe with a dash action, I can get to there.
Okay.
And that's it for now.
All right. So at the end of your turn, 2 legendary actions are going to happen at once. First, Jarlaxle is going to move up to his speed without provoking opportunity attacks. And the dragon is going to make another tail attack against Jarlaxle as he runs, using his last legendary action. That one will hit. Ow.
On a plus note, Killy, you were rolling dragon damage far better than you did in the last campaign.
Oh, shit. Jarlaxle is going to begrudgingly pull out an especially powerful healing potion, superior healing potion, I believe. And heal himself. For 34 hit points.
Good rolls on those fours.
He is then going to disengage as an action and move right up next to you, Julie. Next is the warrior's turn.
You
They
bunch of caltrops? What's that?
the superior healing potion. He healed himself. All right, the elite warriors. The one right next to you, Singe, is going to turn around and attack you.
Mm-hmm.
2 attacks with the short sword. One
One
crit,
hit.
117. Okay. 12 and 9 is 21 and 10 is 31 points of damage.
Ooh. Okay.
Yep, the attacks are poisoned. And that's his action. The warrior next to the dragon is just going to attack it with his swords. Both attacks hitting. Wow. Okay. So 18 on the first hit and 17 on the second hit. And that's their turn. The one has to make a wisdom save against the dragon. Succeeding, he is no longer frightened. All right, none of the drow, except for Isn't, are frightened of the dragon. At the end of the warrior's turn, Jarlaxle is going to use a legendary action to make a... he's actually going to use a legendary action to quick step, moving without provoking opportunity attacks. And he's actually going to move right up next to you, Treverin. All right, Drelloff, you're up.
Gunslinger in front.
Alrighty.
Reckless. Yeah, let's turn on.
13 will miss. 21 will not. All right. He tries to dodge out of the way of the second swing. You come in with the first swing. He manages to just barely dodge that, but you come in with the upswing, and he's not quick enough to raise his blade in order to kind of do something to parry it. And moreover, you got advantage on him on the swing. You just cleave hard into his side. You watch as he kind of grasps that and lets out a final disgruntled grunt as he collapses onto the ground.
Sweet. Done.
Okay. At the end of your turn, Jarlaxle is going to use 2 legendary actions to make an attack against you, Treverin, with his rapier.
Okay.
25 is going to be 16 piercing damage against you.
Okay.
The dragon sees an opening, is actually going to quickly shift over in this direction, and then he sees you, Singe. And whereas he was about ready to kind of breathe in that direction to try to finish them off, he holds off, recognizing you as a potential ally, and instead is going to swing around, holding off on the breath, and make 3 attacks against the warrior. Critting with the bites, and the claws are both going to hit 2. All right, he has that drow for lunch.
I was about to say.
I'm trying to think, how much damage is that? 12 and 14 is 26, 36 and 6 is 42, 52 and 7 is 59 points of damage in one turn. All right. Isn't is going to shift out of the shadows, right up next to you, Treverin, and say, sorry about this, but you left me no choice. and is going to hit you with his daggers. 15.
Does not hit. My armor class is 15.
Attacker wins on ties, remember?
Oh, I thought the defender won on ties.
No, attacker wins on ties. So that is going to hit.
Okay.
9 piercing plus 29 from sneak attack.
Christ,
Yep.
I remember those fucking rolls.
You are unconscious. You are not dead. Don't worry about making any sort of death saving throws. And the rest of you are too far away to hear anything Isn't might be saying to Jalaxel in this very moment. Okay, you're up.
So watching him run away from me and come over this way past him, could I suspect that I know he's running north?
You saw him. You can't. Well, you can see through the darkness, so you saw him running around up through this direction. Yes.
So I'm just gonna charge this way.
Okay. The water elemental makes an attack of opportunity against you.
Oh, that's right, because he's no longer friendly. That'll
18.
hit.
14 bludgeoning.
Oh, that sucks. All right,
You get
whatever.
smacked in the back.
Isn't the water elemental still under orders to attack Jarlaxle?
It was right up until Treveran got knocked unconscious.
No. Okay, so now it's like a raging elemental.
Now it's raging. Yep.
Oh fuck.
And
Great.
I'm gonna hit the shit out of Relaxel again. Or at least try to.
All right. 24 lands. The 17 does not. All right.
Oh, you know what? I forgot about my strength of the grave.
Okay. So you're at 1 hit point then.
So does that water elemental still hit me?
All right. If you're at 1 hit point, then Isn't going to use his offhand to try to finish you off. Then. And that's not going to finish you off. So you are still at 1 hit point.
Yep.
All right. You still, and then because you're up, go ahead and make a con save against the damage.
Well, hold on. I have to make a charisma saving throw to see if it's success, right?
It would be a Constitution saving throw.
On the strength of the grave.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, it's a charisma saving throw. On
Five-
success, yeah.
5 plus the damage taken, which was 38. So
I wish you the best of luck.
wow. Unfortunately, I don't think you're higher than a 38. 5 plus the damage taken. So yeah. Unfortunately, it's not gonna be enough to.
But is it the damage I've taken that would drop me below 0?
So the sneak attack and the piercing damage would be calculated as combined damage. The damage that takes you below 0 would be 38 points of damage.
Because I was at 21.
Mm-hmm.
So
I mean, even if you reduce it, it would be 29 plus 5, so 34. It's either going to be 34 or
okay, all right.
Yeah.
So
So
I'll fail. So I'm still unconscious then.
yeah. Unfortunately, he did way too much damage to you in one immediate strike.
Yep.
So, all right. So the water elemental's otherwise still there then. All right. So you came in with the great swords. 24 on Jarlaxle does hit. He is going to use his uncanny dodge to reduce that 15 to 7. All right. And that's your turn. The elemental is just going to attack the closest thing it can see, which at the moment is the dragon, fortunately. And the 22 will hit, the 17 will not. For 14 points of damage. At this point, the dragon is well and fully aware that the water elemental is no longer in control. So, at the end of the water elemental's turn, the dragon is going to use a legendary action to make a tail attack against it, hitting it for 21 bludgeoning. Sindge, you're up.
Okay, real fast. If I shout something, that doesn't count as an action, does it?
That's a free action.
Okay. I'm going to. Since just going to say, "Grandfather, down here," as a term of respect, and then he's going to step over to here and cast.
Now that's where the door is.
Where is there a door?
Well, the doors themselves kind of overlap there. They're designed in such a way that because they actually kind of slide in, right now they're open. So you can't actually move in there because the door technically is right there.
Oh, I
right
didn't
now.
know that was a door. Okay.
Yep.
My bad. Oh, well, thank you. It's a oddly drawn map. All right. Hold on.
I know.
Disengage is full movement speed, right?
Disengage is an action.
Right. Yeah, but it's full movement speed.
Yes.
Disengage is an effect. It will just means you can't dash. So you can still disengage and you move your full movement speed.
Okay. With that said, then I am going to take a disengage action, and I am going to move to here.
Okay. You see the gold dragon kind of smile as you call out for it.
Hold on. Let me just make sure.
Right there.
Yep, thank you.
Okay. Is that your turn then?
Well, I have a quick question. I'm disengaging, right?
Yep.
And I move 30 feet. If I moved 30 feet, this would still be in range, like right here, right? Can I get cover from him? Or no? Can I
Cover
get
from whom?
the pistol wielding guy?
You're in cover from where you are right there from him. If he decides to move up, then no dice. But right now the
I know.
dragon's kind of blocking. Right now the dragon's kind of blocking the way as it is. So
I know. I understand that. I would just like to be out of range of the pistols, or
Yep.
not out of range, but not being
Yep.
able to get shot at. All right.
Yeah. You have cover from both of them at the moment from where you are there.
Okay.
Okay. If that's the end of your turn, then the dragon is going to use another legendary action to make another tail attack against the elemental. That'll hit. Another 20 points sending the elemental's way. All right. Treverin, make a death save. I'm sorry, don't. You are just knocked unconscious. All right.
All right.
Yeah, they knocked you unconscious. They're not interested in killing you. All right. The gunslingers, of which
Slinger,
there's only
right?
one,
Yeah.
is going to, seeing the immediate danger, is going to
Shoot the immediate danger.
well, he's going to back up, shoot the immediate danger. That's the wrong stat sheet. There we go. And unfortunately, just missing. And then back up as far into the hallway as possible. Julie, you're up.
Okay.
You watch as this gold dragonborn comes out of nowhere into the fight.
Yeah, and you know what? There's a large, angry, wounded gold dragon, and that's his business. I'm not. I'm not going to get myself involved. Plus, if they do manage to kill him, I'll have another shot at the treasure. So,
Thinking ahead.
this guy fucking blew this dark elf clown blew by me as if I was a joke to him. So I'm going to full move, and I have enough move. I'm going to run around the corner, see him. I have enough move to get to here. That's my full move. I'm going to use a charge from the Eye of Burning Blood, and I'm
Nice.
going to action surge all over the ass clown.
All right, let's see it. Julia versus Jarl Axel. Miss. Hit. Miss. Miss.
Well, I got one.
Everybody gets one.
Everybody gets one. Jarl Axel turns around. You see the standy looking drow elf turn around, kind of watches as you take this magical eye. He looks at it and goes, huh. As one of the strikes comes in, he manages to quickly and deftly dodge the other two strikes as they come in.
And that's everything. A full move, a bonus action. Is using the eye a bonus action?
The eye, what is that
It
right?
doesn't say in the description. It just
I
says
believe
using a
it's
charge. But I think activating an item is a free
Is it
action.
bonus
Is it not?
action?
Well,
Well, it depends on the
Activating
item.
an item. Yeah, it doesn't say it's a bonus action, so it would say if it required the mechanic, would it not?
I'm the one who wrote it up, so I'm going to add, yeah, it's going to be a bonus action.
All right, so I full moved, bonus actioned, and then did my attack action, and I am spent.
Okay.
All that for 12 damage. Woo!
Alrighty. At the top of the round, Jarlaxle goes. Looking at Isn't, they kind of take a brief look at one another, draw their weapons, and get ready to fight the both of you. He is first going to look in your direction, Kay, and attempt to strike you. No, you don't want to take that jab back. Julie's right next to him. He can use sneak attack there. So he's going to turn around and attack you, Julie, especially because you just hit him.
He's like, how dare you?
24. 17 piercing plus sneak attack. For an additional 26. So 26 and 17 is
43.
and the 36 and 7
Well,
is
40.
43. Reduced to 40.
40.
Yeah, 40 points of
reduced to
damage.
40. So 10 off my temporary, and then 30 off my total.
Guys, I have to pee. I will be back before my turn.
Sure.
That's insane, by the way.
CR 15.
Yep.
He is then, that's why you have the dragon as an ally, he is then going to, because he can make 3 attacks with them, hit you 2 more times with that rapier. 17 beat your AC.
Yeah, I think it is at 17, so yeah.
Alright.
That's sick! He rolls a 3 and he hits me!
13 reduced to 10.
Okay.
And then finally he's going to conk you over the head with the butt of the rapier. 15 reduced to 12.
So, I'm sorry, the first one, because my daughter was jabbering at me, the first one was how much damage? 13, and then another one is 15?
13
15.
reduced to 10, and 15 reduced to 12.
Alright, well, hold on.
So
So
22
the
points
10,
of
the
damage
10
combined.
brings me down to 9, and then the 12 brings me down to -3.
Yep, you are unconscious. Don't worry about making death saving throws. He is not interested in killing you, just knocking you unconscious. And that is his turn. Next are the warriors. The warrior is going to shift. I guess there's only the one left. Is going to shift up next to the dragon, taking his swords drawn. Is going to make 2 attacks against the dragon. Critting, and the second attack is going to land as well. So 10, 16, 8, and 6. Badly injures the dragon, but the dragon himself is still doing okay for the most part. Alright, at the end of their turn, Jarlaxle is then going to use 2 legendary actions to make a rapier attack against you, Kay.
Okay. Nope.
Alright.
Actually,
Go
yeah,
off
it
your-
ties with me. Never mind. I'm not wearing a shield.
Okay. Alright. 10 piercing.
Okay.
Growloff, you're up.
Hmm. Can I move down by that warrior and smack him?
Sure.
That's what I'm gonna do.
As you start moving that direction, the dragon says, "Hold off, I'll finish them. Tend to your 8 friends."
You just want to go give me a kill. That's right.
I just don't want you to get fire breathed on.
Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think I can get to it.
Alright.
I guess that'll be it.
Okay. The dragon, at the start of his turn, is going to open his mouth and breathe fire down in a 60-foot cone, which is going to be enough that it clips the gunslinger in the back. I'm not going to bother rolling for him. He's only on 3 hit points. He just straight up dies. And the elite warrior fails the roll. All right. The 2 drow in the south get barbecued. And that's his turn because you're dealing with this water elemental that's annoyingly next to him. All right. Next is Isn't, who is going to shift down and attack UK using his daggers.
I'm gonna get stabbed. Yep.
All right. And he knocks you unconscious again, not killing you. He's then going to shift over next to you, Draloff, and is going to attack you with the offhand. That'll hit. You're still you're still raging as of now, but you didn't attack. You're taking damage, so you're going to keep raging. So 3 reduced to 1 point of damage. All right. Okay, you're unconscious. You don't need to worry about making any sort of saves. The elemental is going to make 2 more slam attacks against the dragon. Both missing. At the end of its turn, the dragon's going to use a legendary action to make a tail attack against it. Hitting. Another 20 points of bludgeoning. All right. Singe, you're up.
Okay. So Singe, with his movement, is going to move to here. Now, from where I'm standing, can I see all of the guys that are kind of unconscious and knocked down and all that?
Yep. You also see 1 dead dwarf.
Well, ignoring the 1 dead dwarf. Hold on. Let me just see what I'm going to do here. Oop, that's not what I wanted to do. One sec.
Mhm.
To the dwarf, myself, and the unconscious, I'm going to cast that.
Okay. And which unconscious person are you casting that on?
All of them. Mass healing word is up to
Wow.
6 targets.
6. Yeah, that's your bonus action for the turn. So, Draloff, you get 6 hit before. Excuse me, you get 4 hit points back. Singe, you get 4 hit points back, and everybody else who's friendly in the party gets 4 hit points back and are no longer unconscious. As the rest of you begin to stir, you watch as the dandy dwarf, Jarlaxle, turns over his shoulder, over Draloff's shoulder, kind of looking your direction and goes, "Wait a minute. Who the hell are you? Who the hell are you?"
Singe at their service.
Interesting. Anything else for your turn?
Well, I moved my movement. The only thing let's see. I can actually take an action, but I can't move to engage. What the hell can I do as an action?
You have a crossbow?
You know, I think I have
Sacred Flame?
Can I cast a bonus action spell and a cantrip at the same time?
Yeah, as long as you can. Mass healing word's a bonus action, so if you have an action such as I think you have Toll the Dead, you can do that.
Yeah.
So long as it's
Okay.
cantrip.
Yeah. And with that, I'm actually going to cast Toll the Dead on Drillaxel.
Okay.
And where is that bug?
Excuse me.
And he is already hurt, correct?
Yes, he has to make a wisdom save.
He's got to beat a 14, which he does.
So no damage.
Yep. Well,
right.
actually, no. Wait. The target must see on the wisdom. So okay, you got it. Sorry.
Unless you got
I
potent
was
cantrips or something, which I don't remember if you have it.
I was reading it wrong.
Okay.
Yep.
Stop being
All
a
right.
fucking nerd.
Shut up.
Me?
Reading shit.
Treverin, you are up with 4 hit points. You see a golden dragonborn kind of standing behind the rest of the troop, and it has drawn the drow's attention.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out exactly what I can do. Hmm. Actually, I know exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to move to here. And I'm I'm going to hit Isn't with magic missile.
Okay. All right, he's going to take the full 13 points of damage from that. He can't do much about it.
And then I'll just kind of wink at him.
Isn's looking pretty bad off. He gives you kind of a weak smile.
And as a free action, I'll tell her, knock Isn't unconscious.
All right.
He'll yell back, "How dare you, you runt!"
All right. The dragon is going to make a tail attack as a legendary action against the water elemental, because he can. Doing some more damage to it. That's the last of his legendary actions till his turn. Julie, you're up with 4 hit points. What do you do?
Oh, Killy.
Julie,
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt. Can you give the dragon 4 hit points back too?
Sure.
Thank you.
yeah, Julie doesn't do unconscious. No, I guess, yeah, no. If he doesn't want him dead, he must have some reason. I'll attack Isn't with my greatsword, striking to knock him out, not kill him.
Okay.
So non-lethal attacks with the greatsword.
Gotcha. 23 hits. 25 hits as well. All right. He is going to uncanny dodge to reduce that to 6 hit points. All right. You watch as Isn't takes the butt of your sword and gets knocked against the wall and falls unconscious.
Hooray! I contributed. Yeah, not much I can do here except take my second win.
Okay.
Don't want to give this guy a chance to attack of opportunity.
And the darkness is dispelled with Isn't being out of the picture.
All right, I'm done.
Okay. Axel says, I must applaud you all. I did not think you had it in you. I certainly did not expect the dragon. Well, you have won this day. I am willing to retreat. But before I do, you have something of mine. And he points at you, Julie, with the rapier and makes 3 attacks against you.
Wow, don't even give me a chance to give it back, right?
Nope.
Just go right to the stabby. Okay.
16 reduced to 13.
Well, I'm unconscious.
Unconscious?
I'm at -1.
All right.
I'm at minus 13 brings me to -1.
Okay. He is going to, just for good measure, just to remind you who he is, going to use his 2 other attacks, one against Treverin and one against Kay. First against Treverin. Crit. This is going to, again, just be non-lethal damage. So that knocks you unconscious again. And then finally against Kay.
Yep. I'll go down.
All right. He is then, after knocking the 3 of you back unconscious, going to use a bonus action to rip the feather from your bags, or cans, or wherever you would have put it, Julie, fixes it in his cap, and then uses his move action to move right out in this direction. And the Elite Warriors are gone. Draloff, what do you do?
Let's see. 1, 2, 3. Here. And
Okay.
I think I have a longbow on me. Yep. Probably not even. Oh, shit. Sorry.
I'll count the first roll of 18, which will not land. 22 wouldn't land anyway.
I got it back on normal. Sorry. All right, my turn.
Okay. At the end of your turn, Dralaxel is going to use a legendary action to quick step. 5, 10. Nah, 5, 10, 20. To get there. Or next, at the beginning of his turn, the dragon gets his breath weapon back and is going to breathe on top of Jarlaxle in an effort to try to keep him from running away. All right, he succeeds barely on the saving throw and uses his evasion to take no damage. At the end of the dragon's turn, Jarlaxle is then going to use his quick step as another legendary action to run further down the path. Okay, he's got to make a death save. Or Isn't got to make a death save, excuse me.
No, it was knocked
You said it was
unconscious.
unlethal, non-lethal.
He's just
Okay.
unconscious.
That's a shame because I rolled a natural 20. So I'm going to say he gets up with 1 hit point because this is going to be fun for me. And he's going to hightail it the fuck out of here.
Been more fun if you left him unconscious.
House, maybe. But
I have a feeling we'll see him again.
all right. So, in the interest of time, if I didn't roll that natural 20, I would have gone away with it, but I wanted to see if I got away with a natural 20. So, at the end of his turn, Durlax was going to quick step even further, and basically the two of them together are going to do whatever they can to get out of here. In the interest of time, the dragon is going to finish off the water elemental, taking not too much damage in the process. And the combat will be otherwise more or less done as the two drow escape.
um,
So,
so I'm gonna go up here, real fast, and I see these guys are still unconscious, and I'm going to cast Cure Wounds on both of them. But before I do, I'm going to rip the dwarves' arm off
okay.
and kind of throw it in my mouth. Like, you ever seen like a crocodile, like just go, like you just do the snap, and like just the fingers are going to be hanging out, and I'm gonna cast Cure Wounds on both of them.
And me, I'm also unconscious. He just didn't
Oh,
mark me.
well, all three of them. My bad. Hold on.
Okay.
So Cure Wounds on closest to me. Cure Wounds on fighter. Cure Wounds on what do you call it? And like with the hand in my mouth, I'm gonna be like, "Are you okay?"
All of you watch as your dwarven companion, who you've been traveling with this for an extended period of time, has had his arm ripped off and is in the Dragonsborn's mouth, half eaten.
Julie will walk over and say, "Yes, thank you for the help." And he kind of reaches in one of the fingers that's hanging out of his mouth. He just kind of breaks what's on it himself.
You gotta watch it when you're in his mouth. He may take a snap.
Are you warning him that you bite?
After fighting, I get hungry.
My jaws
Okay.
literally just dropped right now. I'm just looking at you like baffled you just did that.
I'm gonna be like, "What? You let
That
you
Treverin, you peer around the corner, and the dragon is actually snacking on a couple of the drow himself.
you let perfectly good food go to waste?"
that
This is
food was our friend.
They're silly sometimes. Julie says,
Sure. Recently
It-
dead dwarf is a
it's like
delicacy
they
to my clan.
it's like they never eat meat.
And with that, I'll wander back down here.
You can see that the dragon is munching on some half-singed drow. He kind of turns over to you and says, "Apologies. I always get hungry after a battle." And he reverts after kind of finishing up the chomp to his much smaller dwarven form. And says, "Well, I'll do what I can to seal this place so that there are no further excursions while we begin to make our way over to Miss Silverhand, was it?"
If you want, says
I'll
Julie.
say, yeah, that's might be it, but I don't know if Silverhand even exists because Dralaxel took her form, so kind of confused. And I kind of tell him,
Ha-
Well,
having been in the city for a little bit of time now, Killy, um,
mhm.
can I basically say, indeed, Laryl Silverhand does indeed exist.
Yep. Her face is only printed on many of the coins made in the last several years.
Yeah, but if Draxel's been there for the last several years, he could have easily done that.
Possibly.
So I look
Julie-
at him and I say, "Are you sure? How sure are you that this person
Singe.
exists?"
Singe, you don't know anything about Joe Laxel.
True. Um, I mean, I've seen her at, I'm assuming, functions like anything the city might have that was out in the open, you know.
The dragon, now in dwarf form, will pipe up and say, "If it's any consolation, I happen to be pretty handy at spotting outliers. They must have a seat of government. The old Castle Waterdeep should still be there, yes?
Yes, I do believe it is there.
Well, if nothing else, perhaps we should get to the bottom of this together, my friends."
I agree.
And he moves over, especially towards Singe, and says, "Brother, I do not believe I've had the pleasure. Oranax, you are?"
Singe
He extends out a hand to shake yours.
from Evermeet.
Evermeet? A strange place for a dragonborn to come from. You'll have to tell me about it on the way there.
I can't tell you much, I'm afraid, but that is where the remainders of my clan were from.
An interesting tale, I'm sure. And he will begin to kind of escort you out towards out of the the tomb of, or the, not really tomb but ruins.
I'm gonna attempt to carry Rotund's now dismembered corpse out.
Okay.
Ah, great idea! Snacks for later.
Julie will actually offer to stay. I'll stay. Guard treasure. Obviously, lots of people about looking to steal. Better leave someone behind. I volunteer.
Not knowing, real fast.
Make a hang on before we get to
Okay.
that. Julie, because I don't know what you're pulling, make either a persuasion or a deception check.
Well, he's honestly volunteering to stay behind.
Make a persuasion
I mean,
check. The dragon shifts his head over at you in his dwarven form. You hear a low belling voice say, "I insist. Please follow. Show me where to go."
I'll also kind of chime in real quick and say, "Julie, do you really want to piss off a dragon?"
Where's the
And then-
trust?
Hold on. With that said, before we advance any further, I'm going to cast this. Hold on. Ah, goddamn it! I keep clicking on the goddamn wheel. I'm going to cast this on Julie, or in the 15-foot radius around him, and ask, do you really want to guard the treasure, or are you thinking of taking some of the treasure? And I don't know if he passes it or not, but
Yep.
Do I get
Sure.
a save on that?
yeah.
Make a charisma save. You know whether he succeeds or fails in the saving throw, which he fails. So you can't. You have to speak the truth.
Do I know enchanted?
You are aware of the spell.
Can I choose not to respond?
Yes.
Julie just shrugs. He points at the dead dark elves and gestures as if to say, you know, I a lot of dangerous people here.
Indeed. And with that, I'm going to follow the elder dragon out of the room.
Okay.
And on the way out, I'm going to lean over to Kay and say, if you're not having the other arm, I really could go for another snack on the way back.
Back off.
Oh,
Is the dragon going to basically make Julie leave?
More or less.
All right, he'll go.
Okay.
Where I had thoughts of killing this guy, I didn't realize at the time he was a dragon. So Yeah, he's not. I mean, Julie's not wise, but he's not dumb.
Yep. So, as you're making your way out, the dwarf, the dragon in dwarven form, is going to turn around, raise up the staff, and say "Azam!" And you watch as the doors shift closed, and he takes the staff, and you guys wander out of the vault. So, what do you do with the body of Rotund on the way out?
I'm going to. Well, I'm curious. Is there any graveyards within Waterdeep?
There is a big ass graveyard
It's a
called the
whole
City of the
district.
Dead. Yep.
I want to take him there and hopefully find a proper burial.
Okay.
Julie
A
will
few-
rifle his pockets before we dispose of the body.
Like hell, you are. I still have his body on me.
So as you're actually making your way out, Kay, there's been this phantom pain in your chest ever since Rotund died. You get just outside of the windmill, and all of you watch as he kind of clutches his chest, takes a few steps forward. Rotund kind of just falls off of his shoulder, and Kay just falls and faints.
Oh, is there anything I can do to help him?
You can carry him.
I'll grab him. I'll say,
Droloff, can you get Rotan?
Yeah, I got him.
it appears the fight was a little bit too much for this kindly man.
The dwarf will say, perhaps we should get you to a medical ward or something before we attempt to see to the whatever orders that be within the city. Or do you believe they just your friend at least needs rest at home?
I say we just take him back to Troll Skull Alley and to the
Throw him in his
manor,
bunk.
and we'll put him in bed and let him rest, and we can conduct business while he gets his wits about him again.
Okay.
I'm gonna say I know I am carrying him, but do you mind if I accompany you?
I kind of look at him with a scowl because you just ate, friend's arm, but sure, come along.
Looking at the scowl, I'm going to be like, what's the matter? Why do you all seem so horrified?
I'll turn around and say, because that was not a snack. That was our friend. He deserved a proper burial. You should have eaten the drow. They're much tastier anyway. Dark
Oh.
meat's always better.
This isn't common. This isn't common where you're from.
No, it's not.
I'm so sorry. It
It's
is very new. The ways and things about this city are very new to me.
and I understand, and that's why you only got the scowl. So please, let's retire to the manor.
Okay. So is everybody going to the manor then? Or are you guys splitting off in different directions?
I'm carrying the dead dwarf back to the manor, but I'm going to teasingly wave the hand in front of the Dragonborn's.
And I'll catch that, and I'll turn around. Droloff, stop that. Because he might mistaken your hand for his.
I would never, sir. Only recently did.
Okay.
Once a Dragonborn goes dwarf, he doesn't ever go back.
All right.
Wow.
So you guys make your way back to the manor, which Singe, you see this somewhat ramshackle, recently restored 3-story building, kind of looks like a tavern. The dwarf, if you allow, will enter in, kind of look at the place for a little bit. On the way there, because you're carrying a severed body with you of a dwarf, you are stopped by the guard and inquired and detained for momentarily while they kind of investigate after finding out who you are with a little bit of persuasion, especially from your new ally, the dragon, not the dragonborn. They allow you to pass, and they will take the body from you and begin a place of burial for it within the city of the dead.
And is there a place where we can pay for the funeral rites so he gets a proper burial?
Once word gets out of who it is you're accompanied by within the Grey Force, you are given a sending spell by the Black Staff, who tells you not to worry about it. That the Force Grey will cover the cost.
Okay, and this is the two-way sending spell, right? So I can reply back and thank them profusely.
Yes.
Okay. Then if they've taken the body, then I think we should head back to the manor and at least rest up a little bit and then go deal with the rest of this before Isn't and Dralaxo has a chance to regroup.
Okay. So, are you guys stopping at the manor and taking a long rest? What are you doing?
Um,
It's right
I
now. It's still
kind of
somewhat early in the morning,
it's early in the morning.
about 10 o'clock. But yeah.
I really do need a long rest, but Kay's unconscious, so we'll make sure he gets in bed and see what's going on. I'll look at Droloff and Julie, kind of assess how are they stamina wise. Are they good to go, or they need a rest?
No, Julie's very badly injured.
Yeah, that's what I kind of remembered. I was
I'm
knocked
the only one that's
unconscious.
come out smelling good in this one.
I don't think you've ever
Um,
smelled good before.
and I really don't think he smells good now, but that's okay. um, yeah, I think we'll take a long rest. I have a funny feeling that our adventure's not done yet today.
Okay. So while resting while resting at home, the dragon is just going to um, take stock of and wander around the city, doing what as best he can to kind of disguise himself and make himself mostly unknown. Um, you don't know what he does or where he goes,
That's
but
fine.
he eventually returns after the span of 8 hours. Now, over the course of this, Kay, you blink your eyes twice and you awaken within a dark central room. You're looking around for a brief second. You feel cold. And after a brief second, you hear a voice, dark voice with a sultry, sort of womanly tone that I cannot replicate for the life of me because, hey, will say, "Now that was rather reckless of you. I hope you understand the full feeling of the pain that you are enduring, for it is a portion of your soul that you have just lost."
I will quickly drop to one knee and like profusely apologize. My guy starts gibbering off. He was weak. I didn't know. I apologize. Any excuse he can make up to get this pain away.
Well, regarding this central pain, I seek results, my boy, not excuses. The oath you had signed was to revive your past friend, and it was done. But, as I told you at the time, his soul was under judgment of Kellamvul, and has since passed into the lower planes of Mount Celestia. In order to revive him, I needed a piece of a spirit. So, I borrowed yours. Just a piece. That pain that you're feeling, that sense of regret and endurance that you must be seeking through, well, that's because the piece has passed back into the Shadowfell. Luckily for you, while I had no control over your friend's soul, I do have control over yours. And you watch as a shadowy tendril kind of expands out, and there's a tiny, tiny fragment of what looks like a small, almost purplish, blackish crystal that seems to glow in this dim light that seems to emanate from nowhere. And as you kind of desperately clutching your chest for a little bit, the pain recedes a little bit, and you reach out, and it just disappears. And she says, not yet. There is a pact, remember?
It will
You
be
must.
fulfilled. And I
then the pain will linger until you take the first step. The crystal shard of the eye, that was formed from a specific mountain. The dwarf knows where. Go to it.
At once, I will drop down to my knee and again and just be like, bow my head.
Okay. The shade says nothing and fades, and you fall back into unconsciousness. At the end of 8 hours, you all gain the benefits of a long rest. K, the pain does not subside. It exists as a phantom pain, and you can still feel it, but it is not so. It exists more of an irritation and a bruise than it does as just this blinding pain that could rend you unconscious.
Okay.
The dragon is reading a book about what looks to be maybe local government as you begin to wander downstairs, and he says, feeling better, I see. I'll be ready to proceed.
I say absolutely, and as the rest of the group, I assume Kay regains consciousness and heads down. So I'll say, so the rest is all you needed.
I'm not like necessarily angry at you, but you can tell my guy's very much like in a bitter mood, scowling to himself.
So the 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 drow that you were fighting, if, how did you come into contact with them? And if they wanted to just say, okay, give me like a quick rundown.
I'll kind of look at him. It's like, well, which drow, the ugly one or the pretty boy?
They're all drow, aren't they? I mean, does I didn't notice if one of them looked more or less attractive than the others.
So one of them I have a history with. Long story, probably longer than you really want to hear. The other one has been apparently using us as pawns to find the treasure. We've encountered him in several different forms throughout the city, and he, like I said, I always felt someone was following us, and apparently I wasn't wrong. It was the other one, but yeah, that's how we encountered him.
Ah, I see.
All right. Anything else?
I got nothing else. I'm ready to kind of head off to see if we could figure out the truth.
Okay. So, you guys all make your way to Castle Waterdeep, and as the dragon staff is held before the guards, you are escorted into a central chamber. Somebody gonna say something?
Yeah, while we're on our way there, kind of like walking down the street, I'll kind of just lean over and tell I can't remember what's his name in his dwarf form, the dragon.
It is.
It started with a B, and I never got it written down.
It is Barak Clanghammer.
Yeah, that's what it was. I'll tell Barrick about the friendship we made with an additional dragon that is going to aid the city who sleeps in uh, the port deep beneath it. Kind of, so that he's aware that there are other dragon kinfolk in the area, so he'll kind of understand to also look out for him.
Okay.
You've met more than one dragon?
I look at it and say, yes.
He will look back at you and say, "No other dragon can enter the city so long as I hold this, and I think it's best if it stays that way." And he
And
gestures to the staff he's holding.
yep. No, I agree. I just let him know about the dragon being there.
Okay. So, You make your way to the castle. You are escorted upstairs, and there's actually a council of familiar, mostly familiar faces surrounding you. Sitting in a central chair inlaid with gold and crystals, kind of nearby it, you see Lariel Silverhand, who I don't think I've ever shown these handouts to, so that's what she looks like. And you hear Revolova whisper to you, Kay, "Ah, that is a true daughter of Mistra." And as you kind of approach, there's this brief hint of a frown as you kind of enter into the room, looking specifically at you as you kind of enter in. Surrounding her, you also see Mert, Raynar, who looks like this, and Jarlaxle, and
Charlester?
Gillester.
Jalester, sorry, not Jarlaxle, my bad. Jalester, Silvermane. And finally, you see a man you have not met before, looks to be a wizard in red robes, with a big old white beard, who simply introduces himself as an old fool advising a wise woman. And
Okay.
she gets up off the chair, talks a little bit about to the dragon. In the interest of time, because I'm terrible at RP, the dragon will share the situation regarding the gold. Will share what you guys have mentioned to it, and Lariel will address the lot of you and say, "We thank you for your aid in finding this lost gold. My hope is that we can return it to the people that wanted it, so that Mr. Neverember's embezzlement can fall by the wayside, and the people can come back to an essence of peace. Though I must say I am quite curious. What were your own goals in attempting to find this for your just this lost treasure?"
My response will be, um, the goals were the adventure for me, and I didn't know what I was searching until it hit home. As said, the part of finding the gold and returning it to the city is, you know, uh, doing what's right.
And I will say adventure and challenge.
And what of you? And she looks over at you, Draloff, and you, Julie.
Because why the
I was
fuck not?
Mert laughs, kind of turtles a little bit. Raynar kind of shudders a little bit. You see the red wizard, the man in red robes, kind of just scoff. And she looks at you, Draloff, and says, "And what were you hoping to get?"
adventure, killing stuff.
"Well, with the gold returned to the city of Waterdeep, it is under my jurisdiction in order to dispense it as best as needed for the city itself. As you have done this under the right prefixes, I think it would be unbecoming of me as leader of Waterdeep to not reward you for your efforts in aiding the city. If you are willing to agree to the total return of the gold to the city of Waterdeep, I am willing to offer you 1/10 of the treasure."
Yes, please.
"It will be done." So,
I bow and say you're too kind.
in the interest of time, a couple of things. Firstly, she talks separately with Urinax, the dragon, who she sets up a deal with him to where, in exchange for allowing him to simply stay in his home, dwarves below, as well as providing on a regular interval gems for him to eat, because he eats gems. He's a gold dragon. He will in turn serve as a protectorate for items in the future, should the need arise. Um, she requests, by the way, that the Stone of Galore be handed over to the city's possession. And that's up to you to decide whether or not you want to relinquish it.
I kind of look at the group and I say, it's just a stone.
Julie, who is attuned to the stone, will say, "Fine."
Okay.
And
You
give
relinquish
it
the
over.
Okay. You relinquish the stone.
He
And
steps forward and
position.
puts it in her hand.
Okay. She takes it and will pass it off to the red robe wizard, who will stuff it within a bag of holding.
And if I remember correctly, you failed the save, so you forget everything about the stone.
After an hour, but yes, you forget everything about the stone and where everything is. So that happens. Not that it matters, because they know where the treasure is, because the dragon told the dragon where it is and dragged the stone. So that happens. So the dragon gets all that, and under the exchange that he helps to protect the city and is allowed to keep the dragon staff in exchange. The 10th of the treasure that you receive is a total of 50,000 gold pieces. Before you decide on splitting that over the course of several days while you're preparing for the course of the adventure, there's a couple of I just got to run through a couple of things that happen for you to decide what it is you do and what happens. So firstly, Emmett Frun, the guy who runs the tavern close to the tavern you're in the process of trying to set up. First off, everybody over time learns that you found this treasure and that you guys got a portion of the gold. So Emmett Frun, who you briefly met, requests if you would provide him 1,500 gold to pay off a loan with interest.
Who is this guy to us again?
He is the owner of an inn nearby the tavern that you have acquired. You have briefly met him.
And he wants us to pay off a loan that he gave us?
He's hoping you will assist in paying off a loan with
Oh, he's asking us to give him the gold
Fine.
to pay off a loan that he has with someone else. Okay.
Yep.
All right. I just want to make sure I understood what the thing. You said that was 1,500.
Yep.
I'm just writing this down for loan.
It's up to you to decide whether or not you want to actually give that to him.
I tell him we'll take it under advisement, and we'll need some supporting documentation and stuff from him to kind of see how serious he is about us paying it. Also, make him go do some paperwork and bring it back.
He just wants us to pay it off from the goodness of our hearts, pay off his debt.
Pretty much. He's hoping, he's preying on your generosity.
Yeah, good luck. No thanks.
Okay. So over time, then, the next time you see him, he's covered in bruises, cuts. Now, Julie Davil, who you might remember, comes to you and asks if you be allowing to provide a donation of 5,000 gold so that his branch of the Zentarum can stay afloat in water. There are recent altercations and legal issues amongst the Zentarum as a whole, and it's hurt his particular branch's coffers.
If he's asking me and not the party, then I'm gonna not give him an answer right away. I'm gonna wait till we know what each one of our shares is, and then if I decide to do it, I'll pay it out of my share.
Okay.
But I think it's pretty much a given. If I ask the party to do this, they're gonna say no. So I know it's gonna come out of my share pretty much, and I want to wait.
So we'll come back to that then. Floon, who is the red-headed handsome man that you had rescued in Chapter 1, who you rescued in the Xanathar Guild hideout, in a favor to Volo, which got you the Troll Skull Manor. He comes to you and asks the party for 500 gold to cover a hefty gambling debt.
I say no. He didn't learn his lesson the first time.
Yeah, that's a no from me too.
5 days later, he disappears without a trace. Nobody knows what happens to him.
Sure, learned his lesson.
And after he disappears, it's still not my problem.
Rescued you once, I'm not rescuing you again.
All right. Volo Thamkadar will come to you and will will gently request if you would be willing to fund him 5,000 gold for an expedition that he hopes will inspire a future book. If you're willing to fund him, he will give you special mention in said masterpiece.
How about a share?
Yeah.
Share of this.
Share of the profits made by your book. If I give you a payment now, you have to give me a share of how many copies you sell.
We get 40%.
Nope, no, no, I'm not gonna murder this guy. I was thinking
25%, he says.
I'll do 25.
Okay.
No, you pay him out of your share. I'm not interested.
Well, then you're not getting any money back.
Okay.
I'll put in half.
Half?
I'll put
Okay.
in some too.
So we'll split it three ways.
Split
Then.
ways. Okay.
5,000 divided by 3.
As I'm not really, I mean, I was there. I'm not asking for any kind of money real fast. I would like to stay at the guy's inn. I mean, I did, help bring most of them back to consciousness, but I don't expect to be treated as
Yeah.
a member of the group, just so you know.
Yep. So, yeah, it's kind of up. It's kind of up to the rest of the party if they decide they want you to stay in the inn for the sake of time, because we've already gone through that. I'm going to say yes, and it's up to the rest of the party, I guess, to decide whether or not you come along or what your role is in this. But which I hope they say yes, because otherwise we're going to have an awkward moment. So if you're splitting it 3 ways, it's going to be 1,666, and
Right.
don't worry about the cents too much. But anyway, you split that 3 ways. Any returns from that are TBD. Because you won't get any returns for that until later on down the line, as it is anyway.
Wait,
Just right.
remind me what the shares were for everyone then.
Well, it was 50,000 gold total, and we haven't split it up yet.
Yep.
So
Okay.
that
Yep.
we were just seeing what's going on.
Yeah. So in
I-
fact,
I
why
would-
don't we go ahead and go? So you got 50,000 gold pieces that you can split between the 4 or the 5 of you, depending on how you want to handle the fee.
So I would say we take 30,000 and invest it back into Troll Skull, and get that up and running, and then split the 20,000 amongst the 4 of us, and then we can throw in some for our new Dragonborn friend if we want.
So
That's my recommendation.
If you're thrusting the 30,000 up for keeping the tavern up and running, I'll say that you'll maintain a regular pay then for the whatever hands you hire. You maintain all the necessary documents and deeds and everything in order to maintain the guild relations, and you have an active up and running tavern with employees and everything. I'm not going to have you worry, because that's going to be an obscene amount of gold. I'm not going to have you worry too much about regular dues in order to pay it. We'll just worry at the end of every 10 days. The way it works is you would have somebody roll a D100, and depending on what you roll in the 100, you either get some money or you lose some money, or have no gain.
How did we come up with that 30,000 gold figure?
We took 50,000. I was going to give each of us 5, and that leaves 30,000 for the tavern.
Which gives us upkeep every week as well, which
No,
gives us
but-
more money in the end game.
I'm just. Where'd you get the 30 though? I mean,
He's
Okay,
arguing
let's try
for
this
less.
again.
no, look,
50,000 gold.
But
4 of us,
but
we get 5,000 each. That's 20. That leaves 30. 50 minus 20 is 30.
why don't
where's
we
he-
split it? Why don't we split it 5 ways then, and give the bar a share of 10,000 gold? That's just another way to do it. Is there a reason why you went 30 instead of 10? That's what my question is.
Yeah, he's
Because then we
wondering.
can actually dump a lot of money into it and get a lot more payback, and then everything's just done with. We don't have to deal with the tavern anymore.
So otherwise, you'd have to worry about maintaining sort of regular fees for the patrons and everything, or for the staff and everything.
Basically,
I would say if you're basically, I'm going to say if you choose to dump the 30,000, then we won't worry about all those monthly fees. If you choose to do less, I think the base is you've already invested 250 into the tavern,
Yeah, just to clean it up.
just to kind of clean it up. You would have to
Right.
do at the very least another 1,250 in order to get the place up and running, and then there would be regular monthly fees on top of that.
30,000. We have to worry about it for the rest of the time we play this game, and we get free gold.
Pretty much.
Okay. I mean,
I mean, if you don't want to put, if you don't get the tavern up and running, just say so.
No.
So-
That's fine. I mean, everyone
See-
wants to do it. We'll
Oh.
do it.
So this is just to expand your guys' decision making. It's 1,000 gold to renovate the tavern over 12 days. 250 gold for guild licenses and contracts paid up front. Then it becomes 50 gold every 10 days for the maintenance and wages of any hirelings, as well as an additional 10 gold every 10 days, 60 gold per week, basically, of 10 days for all other regular expenses. So if you want to truncate that down even further, I would say over the course of 120 days, your average fees is going to be about 7,200 gold per year. And the 30,000 gold would cover 4.25 years. Now, if you want to just truncate that down to 1 year, then it would just be 7,200 gold. Be 7,200 gold for the regular upkeep, plus the 1,250 for the initial expenses. So it would cost you 8,450 gold to get the tavern up and running and to cover all the expenses for 1 year.
Yeah, no, I just did the math. If we do 30 grand, it covers the 1,250 plus 8.5 years worth of expenses, assuming expenses don't rise.
So
At $65 gold a week.
60 gold a week, 65.
60, not 65.
So
That just means for 8 years we get free money.
All right, so it covers the start of the tavern plus
I-
9.925 years of cost.
And I'll look at Julie. What else would you do with the money right now?
Well, no. Look, I just needed to figure out. My brain, the numbers have to make sense. So when you tell me we're going to put 30 grand into the tavern, I just kind of wanted to know what it was going towards and how we got to 30 grand. And if the answer is we don't have to worry about expenses for the rest of the campaign, great. I can understand that. It's just Killy offered the additional information. I crunched the numbers, and
Yeah.
and that's what I got.
No,
I got
I just want
basically
to make sure you're happy with the decision. 'Cause
No, I would have been happier if we killed the dragon and took all the money. But I mean,
yeah,
good luck with that.
that didn't work out. And then it didn't
right
work
now
out
and
the
say
first time.
there was no way we were killing that dragon.
It didn't work out the second time after he was wounded, and we had a shot at killing him and getting the treasure.
There
And
was
then
no
we
way
had
you
a
were
shot at.
you didn't have a shot
Yeah.
at shit.
Well, you know what I mean.
One dragon breath from that dragon would have ended all of us.
Minus the good gold dragon that wouldn't have helped, dragonborn that would not have helped you kill the dragon.
You would have
Yeah,
walked
I
in
mean,
and seen a bunch of dead bodies and went, "Ooh, dinner."
So, all right.
Look,
so,
don't get me wrong.
So-
5,000 gold is a lot of gold, and
Okay.
I guess I'll just be happy with that. and
Okay.
Go
So-
along to get along.
Okay. So,
All right.
30,000 to the tavern. That covers your expenses. Every 10 days, you'll get a bonus based on the revenue of the tavern, or you'll break even one way or the other. From there, the other four of you get 5,000 gold. Singe, you're not getting anything.
I will look at Singe and I will give him an additional 500 gold out of my personal pocket.
Okay, so Singe gets 500, you get 4,500.
And then I give Volo another. I give Volo my 1666 as well.
Okay. So the three of you will invest into that. Any return on that, you're not going to know for a while yet.
Yeah, that's
coming
fine.
back to you then, Julie. Davil's asking for that 5,000.
Yeah, I'll ask a group. Anyone here feel like helping the gents out with one of their chapters here?
I'll
They're-
toss
they're
in a
looking
K.
for an investment.
Alec, is this the group that sent us to our deaths twice?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, the ones that tried to frame us for the
I will
Oh.
graciously decline.
the ones that tried to frame us for the murders at the at the estate as
So,
well. Yeah,
all
I'm
right.
gonna
Oh, never
respond
mind
to
then.
Davil. Look, sorry, I get outvoted.
They are disappointed, and after some time, out of they are. His particular branch is driven out of the city, and the Zentarum that remain are in control of Manchu. Two more. Jalen Umbrusk, who is a noble of some prominence within the city, requests if you would be willing to donate to him an interest-free loan of 10,000 gold, which she vows to repay within a year. In exchange, she promises to use her considerable influence within the Lords of Waterdeep to aid you in the future.
Speaking as a, you said 10,000 non-interest. I know I'm not part of the money holders, but I mentioned that that doesn't sound like a horrible idea.
I will ask, what is the 10,000 gold loan for?
She says,
Because I'm not really interested in interest free. So I really need to understand what's the cause and what's
she
what's the
says,
immediate return.
she says, it would be a loan which you would be paid over time, and I guarantee you that I can pay you for the full amount. Moreover, I have significant influence with the Lords of Waterdeep, and I can use that influence to aid you within the city.
I will ask then, if you have significant influence over the Lords of Waterdeep, why have you not asked them for this interest free loan?
This is not something that the master that the lords would be willing to, especially part with.
And that brings me back to the question: is what is the purpose of the loan?
Make a persuasion check.
Okay.
Okay. She tells you that she's indebted to the Zentarum and needs to pay them back, but she has considerable influence and can repay you.
So you're asking us to give you 10,000 gold, so you can give the Zentarum 10,000 gold to pay
Yep,
off a
pay
debt.
them off. Pay off a debt.
I'm a no.
I don't like the Zentarum,
I don't either, but I don't like giving them free money either.
but I also kind of want that influence. We can do a lot of shit with the influence like that.
I will say all of us would have to contribute to that. I'm not willing to take a bulk of money for that. I'm only willing to put in 2,500.
Well, we'd all have to put in 2,500 to get to
Right.
10.
That's what I'm saying. Everyone would have to contribute so everyone would have to agree to do it.
Yeah, and Julie's a no.
I can't do it alone, so I guess I'm out. This is like an
Okay.
episode of Shark Tank.
So, so do you all decline then?
Yeah.
Kind of
Alright.
have to.
You make an enemy of a secret masked lord of Waterdeep, which may or may not have ramifications in the future. Finally, there are several temples and charities and guilds and different down on their luck folks who come knocking on the door time to time, hoping to prey off your generosity. Based on your earlier answers, I'm going to assume you generally don't help them out, and basically, if you,
I only have a mere 700 gold to my name, but I'll help as much
No,
as
you
I
have an
can.
extra 500 from me.
Oh well, okay. Given that, I would like to. Anytime a charity or something comes around, or orphans or whatever, I would like to contribute as much as I can to the point where I only have, like, say, 300 gold left.
okay, if that's how you want to handle that gold, that's fine. The temples will note you as a generous donator, and you are given during some time as you spend here, although you have strange mannerisms and Gold Dragon, although you have some strange mannerisms, a city as big as Waterdeep, that's not unusual. And the temples among the city are more than happy, the charities among the city are more than happy to introduce you in certain events, as in fundraising events, as a generous donator, and give you special notice and mention. Now, in the midst of all of this, while you're in the midst of all of this business,
Hey, Killy, before
Yes.
we break off of this, on second thought, Julie will chip in a fourth contribution for Volo for his expedition. So it's 1250 each if we all do it.
1250 each. Okay, go ahead and mark that on your character sheets then.
Yep.
And Volo is more than happy to take that and give you the special mention, and any ramifications of that will be determined out. So, these are different events that take place over the course of several days. Now, before too much of that goes into place, however, what if anything, Kay, would you do?
I actually do kind of want to give to charity, much like, well, I will give money to charity if I believe it is a good cause. Like anyone who comes by and like wants to do libraries and stuff like that, I'm more than willing to give my money up. But religions, depending on the religion, I'd be more timid about it.
Okay. Most of the religions, you're probably a bit more timid. There are a couple of charities that help, especially libraries and knowledge. Over the course of a while, you'll probably lose about 100 gold.
Okay.
As you donate it off, and you'll get special plaques in different libraries across the city.
Sounds good.
So,
Plats I need not.
But other than that, I want to pull Drelloff aside and talk to him.
Unholy, you there?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure what you two are up to now.
I want to ask you about that medallion that was stolen from your tribe that you were eyeing, that Julie now has possession of.
No, he has it.
Oh, did you give it back to him?
I left it on the floor of the arena. I threw it at.
Are you talking about the medallion
No,
or
I'm
the
talking
Thug
the stone or whatever is that you killed in the eye or whatever.
the the
Julie
eye
has.
Julie has, but the
That's what I'm talking about.
the fetish that was his.
No, I'm not asking
hand.
about the fetish. I want to know about that stone.
You mean the
The
eye?
eye. He's asking about the eye.
Right. You asking Julie about the eye?
No, I'm
He's asking
asking
Draloff.
Draloff.
Oh, knock yourself out.
What are you asking him?
I am inquiring about any information about the what was it, the burning eye or whatever.
Yeah. Now, Draloff, you know that the eye that Julie currently has in his possession belonged to your grandfather once upon a time, and your tribe referred to it as the Eye of the Elder Seer, because it was your grandfather that was the Elder Seer who held it. At the time, it allowed him to see incoming danger and allow you to prepare for it. In fact, it allowed you to just see the orc attack on your tribe. Well, I take that back. It allowed you most of the time to see danger before it happened, but for whatever reason, it did not warn you of the orc attack, which is why you were not there when it occurred. Um, you didn't even know it was orcs that had done so, because you had been out for several days hunting. You don't know too many details about the eye itself, or where it came from, or how it was created, or how your grandfather got a hold of it. You do know that there are some ruins within a mountain that sit in the middle of a forest that your tribe would often sit in, especially during the colder winter months. Um, your grandfather was not a fan of the place. Neither was your father, but it served as the best possible place to hole up during colder winter months.
So does he want me to take him to it?
I
Like
am searching for something in that mountainside, and that was the first lead I got towards what I am searching for. And I will like nudge towards Julie and his eye.
So you want to go to my winter home?
Yes. Specifically said temple. There is an item there, not an item. There is a source of energy there that I believe may be of use to us.
Now, Dreloff, you know that in those ruins, there was a large set of double doors that supposedly led deeper into the mountain. But your grandfather and your father never opened those doors. Your father didn't know much about it. Your grandfather said only once that beyond those doors lies only death and foul magic. And nobody, although you often rested there for the winter, nobody in the tribe, except for maybe your grandfather, ever knew what was behind those doors.
Now,
He was-
real fast to Dreyloff. Because you know this, but it's up to you whether you relay that information to Malik, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. I'm simply inquiring about if you would be so kind as to show me where that eye came from. And I will explain to you that I want to do it because I'm seeking a source of energy there, a source of power.
Desecrate the.
Now, I coming from a holy land, I mean no disrespect to your family. I am simply I got a tip off that something there may be useful for the lot of us.
Yeah, but grandfather said that was foul magic. Magic beyond the doors.
But wouldn't you be curious as to see if maybe your family wasn't hiding something from you?
I'm more scared that he was scared by something. He was the one with the eye and all.
What if I told you that eye was only a shard?
That's even scarier.
What if I told you the rest of it could be found?
Again, even scarier.
And could be wielded? Then I will point to you.
What would I do with magic? Or
It's not magic,
item?
my friend. Something much better.
I still say no.
Can't
You're
get you.
you're flat out refusing to show him where you are refusing to take him there.
Yes.
I will ask, what does it cost?
You don't have enough.
What if I were to share with you what is inside that temple that I know of? Would that calm your nerves about it?
Nope.
Okay. Okay, fair enough.
That was the longest protracted fucking white call I have ever heard. Oh.
Well, then I guess
Now-
I will approach Julie with the same information.
Okay.
Knowing that
Julie.
he's been there as well.
Julie, Kay approaches you.
And I will ask if you know about the dwarf's homeland, since you have been there.
Julie will explain that what he knows he learned from raids that he participated in.
But you do know where it is located.
I'm assuming, yeah.
Yes, you would know.
Yeah, I've been there. I've stood in its halls and I've removed, things of value, and we took slaves there. And yeah, no, I know where it is.
What if I told you that eye you're holding is only a shard of power, and that we might be able to locate the rest?
Julie would ask you what you're talking about. What do you mean, shard of power?
There is a temple, shall we say, in that dwarf's homeland that holds a well that allows you to seek anything you could ever want. And that shard you are holding is one of, what was it, 4? I can't quite remember. I wrote it down as shards. I can't remember how many there were.
It never said specifically how many parts there were to it, only that it was a shard of something greater.
Gotcha. But there is more shards to that single piece of magic, and we might be able to use that well to figure out where they are.
So what are you asking? What you ask me for? Want me to take you to dwarf halls?
Precisely.
Good. I long to be away from this city. It depresses me. I miss the open. I miss the open wilds. I believe I have everything I want, he says, remembering his battle with Dodrock. But it would be good to go back and see the old places.
Well then,
I, I will go with you.
and I will look at Crowl and like give him the eyes. I will look at Treverin. Yeah, give him the eyes. Like I'm gonna like ask if he's okay with us going there next because I have informed him of what's going down.
I just kind of shrug, so sure.
I mean, I'll point at Treverin, and I'll point at our new friend, and then shrug.
So Singe and Drelloff are still in the dark about this, mostly. You asked Drelloff to show him where he was from, and he flat out denied you.
Correct.
And Singe, as of yet, doesn't know that this is going on.
Right? You just nodded at me, and I take that for some odd fucking.
No, I didn't nod at you. I was eyeballing Crowl, and Crowl shrugged at me, and so I pointed at Crowl and then pointed at you, and then I shrugged to get back at him.
Okay.
But
I lean over to our new Dragonborn friend. I think he likes you in that way.
What way would that be?
You'll probably find out soon enough.
Does your dragon have a French accent, by the way?
No.
oui, oui. But with that, I suppose we will find a time to plan the expedition. But outside of that, I have nothing else to talk about.
Okay. So, it's up to you, because there's not a whole lot I have in the interim as far as planning out X number of days. It's up to you to decide whether all of you want to go on this, whether some of you want to stay behind and not to take part in it, or whether you want to just put it off until later.
Out of character, is there a truncated timetable in which you wish to do this, or?
You basically, within the span of the next 10 days, as you know, all of these people are coming to you as the news gets out about this. You basically have Kay kind of informs you of this desire to go to this mountain in almost immediately after your business at the castle takes place, and it's up to you guys to decide how you want to proceed.
My guy is like doing the best he can to persuade you to go. Like there could be treasure there, magical items, anything he can do to get you to go.
Well, from my character's perspective, he's been in the city for a couple months, and he's fascinated by, Faerun or Faerun proper. So all you really have to do to convince him to go is to be like, "Would you like to see more of Faerun?" And he's probably going to say yes.
Well, would you like to see more of Faerun?
We.
Surely.
So, Draloff, presumably after about an hour, you learn that they are all planning an expedition out to a mountain within the next several days.
We won't tell you where because we know you won't go.
Then you don't know where. You just learn that Julie wants to go to an old haunt.
Well,
If I don't know where we're going, therefore I don't know what to do. So
yeah, I mean, Julie's he's definitely willing to go, but we're not going because Julie wants to go. We're going because
Kay wants to
our
go.
friend wants to go. Yeah, Kay wants to go.
So,
But we'll put it under the guise as you want to go view an old homeland. At least I'm trying to. I don't know if that's your character does, but I'm like doing my best to convince Draloff that's what's going down.
Draloff, it is your decision to decide how you want to handle this particular situation.
Welcome to the role-playing aspect of D&D.
Indeed.
if I go and we do go to my homeland, I will set off every booby trap there is for him. Namely,
Well-
any caves besides.
Okay. Do you share this with the party?
Nope.
Okay. Do you agree to go with them, though?
Yep.
Okay. So,
Though that part you probably could have kept to yourself.
you could
Oh,
have.
I have
Right.
plans.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't worry
You
about
didn't have to inform us yet.
Okay. So,
Before we do go though, I want to buy a thing of half plate because that's what I've been saving my money for. And I want to sell my scale mail.
okay. The half plate will cost you 750 gold. And the scale mail used, you will sell for 25 gold pieces.
Yeah, Julie was gonna look for a set of plate armor, but not
Okay.
preferably not ordinary plate. I'm willing to pay a premium for armor that has increased quality or is of increased value than the standard set of plate armor.
Okay. Were you thinking something along the lines of enchanted plate armor, like +1 plate armor, or?
Yeah, I mean, whatever he's going to spend time to see what's available at his price point, which is around 4,000 gold, or
Okay.
like three times the three. Yeah, like I think I can afford three times the regular cost.
Okay. So regular plate armor would cost you 1,500 gold.
Yeah, I got like 4,300 to deal with.
Right. So let's see. Hang on. +1.
Well, hey, if that's an option, I might just do that. I didn't know that was a thing. I didn't know we could go out and buy magic items.
In Waterdeep, there are some options. You have an opportunity for some of that available to you, but only to an extent. +1 armor you could probably come across. It's just not
Say,
cheap.
if that's an option, I probably want to look for that then, because I do want +1 half plate if possible.
Okay.
You have to remember, we're not in the sticks now. We're in a major town, and where
Yeah,
you
but
can't
now-
sell stuff.
So for +1 plate armor, that's going to cost you 4,500 gold.
Yeah, I can't do it. I don't have enough.
Wait, how
Okay.
much are you short?
Like 200.
I'll gladly loan that to you if it's something your heart desires. I have 300 gold left. I'll gladly part with that.
Yeah. Okay. Julie
And the
will
half.
gladly take that.
Okay. So you'll have. Let me go ahead and drag that to your. You'll have to. It is an item that you have to attune to, I believe. Just double check that to be sure.
I'm
Yes.
pretty sure +1 is.
No, I take that back. It is not.
No?
Just have it.
Wow.
Yep. It's funny enough.
All right. Let me subtract 200. That was all you needed, 200?
Yeah.
Now, what about +1 half?
let me drag this into his character sheet here first.
Okay.
+1 armor. So, oh, you already added in there.
Yeah, I tried. You can delete the one I added because it's not showing in my armor class.
So let's do this.
Yeah, that's right.
Equipped.
It's showing now.
All right.
19 armor class.
And
Cool.
I'm just making sure you got rid of the other armor you had then.
Yeah, that's the one you just deleted. And I'll sell that. So, actually, what can I get for that?
Do you remember what it was?
Splint.
Splint. The splint mail. The splint mail you could sell for 100 gold.
I'll just give that to Singe, so I only own Singe 100.
Okay. All right. For the +1 half plate, if that's what you're going for, that is going to cost you 2,750 gold.
Deal. So 2750 you said?
2,750.
So I was at 4029 minus. Cool.
Killy.
Sorry, just bear with me while I
Take your
get things
time.
set up with this.
Take your time.
So plus half plate armor +1. That puts you at a whopping 20 armor class.
That's with shield though, so.
That's with the shield. So, all right. What do you need, Julie? Or excuse me, Dave.
Oh, so Singe would like, because Singe knows that Barack. Immediately I think of Obama. Because Singe knows where Barack is at. Before we go on any kind of expedition, I would like to kind of go back to his lair, and I would like to kind of have some conversations with him. And while I'm having those conversations, some of the things I'd like to discuss with him are if he knows, you know, I want to tell him about my clan. I want to tell him about my background, how we came to ever meet, and I don't know why specifically the clan was there, and I want to ask him if he knows anything about a beer, if I'm saying that, pronouncing it correctly, and where my homeland once was, or where it's at now, or you know, and I'd like to get to know him. Do I get the impression that after talking with him for a decent length of time that I'm I'm becoming friendly as much as I can be with um a dragon of such renown?
He's more than happy to. He doesn't consider himself as a dragon of such renown. In fact, he's kind of a recluse, but he's more than happy to have the company of another golden scaled friend, and you become good friends with one another over the couple of days that you get to know one another. He doesn't shares with you that he doesn't know too much about Abier. It's how it's pronounced. I could be wrong.
Okay.
But he only bits and pieces of rumors, and that it's supposedly parallel to the same moon of Saloon as Faerun itself is, as the current material plane is, but that transporting between dimensions is not something he himself is particularly studied in or particularly interested in as of himself.
Also, while talking to him, I'd like to ask him um about like the struggle between Bahamut and Tiamat, because I'm a cleric of like Bahamut. Oh, in general, I don't have a specific dragon
Sure.
deity that I worship. Um, and I'm going to basically say to him, look, um, uh, I am not. I am not. I am not a. I was going to say a man. I am not a dragonborn of any means. But do you perhaps know of something that I can get my hands on to protect myself on my journey or on my pilgrimage toward a beer?
He stops and recoils his head back and he says, "What kind of protection are you wanting to seek?"
Perhaps some form of armor, a shield, or something like that that may be of use.
"Hmm, Well,
I would not ask from your personal collection or anything like that. I understand how
he
dragons
says,
are in general.
my collection these days is little more than the gems I have here for food and the friendship I have gained with you. If you continue to venture throughout this land, I know you are not from here, but Faerun is an ancient land full of ancient treasures. Who knows? Wander the land, explore its depths, stick close to your new allies. You never know what you may turn up.
I thank you for your wisdom.
Okay. So, it'll take you guys about 10 days in order to prepare for this expedition out to the mountain. Because of this, and because you have the tavern more or less up and running, I need one of you can kind of pick between a lot of you, to roll a D100 for me.
My dice have not been good today, so not me.
I'm a
I'll do it.
I'm a neutral party. I have no skin in this game.
71. Okay. Go ahead and roll a D6 for me then, Julie. All right. Over the course of 10 days, the tavern gets a small profit, but a profit of 10 gold pieces. Now, as far as journeying out to the mountains themselves, if you choose to go by foot and you choose to go at a standard pace, the overall cost of the expedition will cost you each about 75 gold and will take the span of about 2 months. 1 month to get there, 1 month to get back. The 75 gold will cover your average food expenses as well as um, lodging if you stay within a city, that sort of thing. If you choose to increase your speed by foot, you run the risk of exhaustion. Alternatively, you can look into investing in a horse and buggy or a caravan or doing something along the lines to truncate it. And it's up to you guys about how you want to fund this particular expedition and how you want to prepare yourselves for it.
I would like to find like horse and saddle for this expedition for myself. So I don't know if there's any stables before we head out that would help.
Okay. There are stables within the city. If you're attempting to rent a riding horse, a simple riding horse, just the horse itself plus the bit and the bridle, you'll have to pay 2 gold for the bit and the bridle, and you get to keep it. Renting the horse for 2 months will cost you about uh, uh, about 10 gold pieces,
How much to actually just buy the horse outright?
75 gold.
Fuck it, I want a horse.
Yep, I'll do that. I'll pay 75 for the horse and bridle, and so I'll give him 80 gold for everything.
Okay, that gives you the barding, the bridle, and everything.
Yep.
I will do the same. Holy shit.
Do you
Okay.
not have Pegasus?
That will give you 2 riding horses. One other thing you can do then is you can also buy a carriage to fit you all in for 100 gold, and have the 2 riding horses kind of pull it.
I mean, I know Droloff wants to probably carry his beer with him, So, if he wants to chip in for a horse, I'd like to just kind of keep my horse separate from a carriage.
Okay.
But I don't have a problem with them picking up a couple horses in a carriage for the rest of them.
Right. Alternatively, as opposed to a riding horse, you can just buy ponies for 30 gold. So 2 ponies at 30 gold each, and a carriage for at 100. Cost you
I'll give
160 gold.
160.
Okay. That gives you a carriage and 2 ponies to pull it, as well as a riding horse with the bit and bridle and everything for Treverin to ride separate.
And I am also writing something.
And then
But you're
Instead of
also
a-
riding separate. Okay.
Instead of a carriage, would a wagon be more practical?
You can also get a wagon for 35 gold. It would be out in the open and not quite as comfortable, but you can get a wagon. It would carry a little bit less weight, 400 pounds as opposed to 600. But you can't get a wagon as
Well,
instead.
no, then the carriage is more practical because it carries more weight. That's what I was thinking as far as carrying stuff back. But
Yep.
if the carriage carries more, then yeah, stay with the carriage.
Okay.
Julie found I didn't realize I had this amount of platinum on my sheet. So, Singe, Julie will hand you 10 platinum pieces. That pays off his loan.
Oh, well, thank you. It was not much. I would graciously accept, but you seem to be in need. But
No, and Julie thanks you for being there when he needed, unlike so many people. But that's cool. And then how much is it per person for this expedition? It's 75 plus.
So if you're going to invest in the carriage and the horses and the ponies, it'll actually reduce the trip from 2 months to 1 month because you're going at a faster speed, and you'll still have to pay for the average cost of food and everything, but that'll truncate it down otherwise to 75 divided by 2. Rounded down.
35,
37,
37.
37 and a half.
Yeah.
37 and a half.
37 gold per person.
God, I'm terrible at math.
All right. Julie will put up 37 gold.
I will as well.
I will too.
I'll put in 100 just so there's an extra for to cover our new Dragonborn friend who's being very gracious.
Okay.
And then any luxury stuff that we may take, extra dwarf arms for him to eat on or whatever we need to make sure he has food.
Okay.
So he's not eating us.
The one other thing is because you guys own the horses, you don't have stables to put them in. Normally, that would cost you extra if you're going to stable them after you get back to the city. But because you already forked over 30 grand of your, I'm not going to fucking worry about it.
Yeah, I'd say
We have
while we're gone
reserved
on this too
parking
much,
spots.
we'll have a stable built onto Troll Skull Alley for us to stable our horses.
Done.
That's part of it.
Okay, so I don't have a map of Faerun immediately ready within the module, but if you guys will click that link, it will bring you to a big interactive map of Faerun. And if you scroll down, you can
Holy
see the
shit.
city of Waterdeep.
Do you know I
All
was
I
looking for
see is
this
dots.
fucking map? It comes up after a second. I was
Yeah.
looking for a map that was going to be, what do you call it, the other day when I was looking for land masses, and I could not find one that was detailed at all.
This is one of the, if not the best map of Faerun I have come across.
It doesn't get the whole thing though, does it? It's just the Sword Coast mostly, right?
Well, it's mostly just a short coast. That's the most detailed version it has. But the nice thing is it has links directly to the Wikipedia for specific locations.
That's fucking cool.
So, where the mountain itself is that you're heading to, it's going to take it's going to take a month rather by horse, and it's actually going to be the Lost Peaks. The easiest way to get there. The Lost Peaks are a twin set of peaks that exist within the middle of the high forest. Nobody knows too much about them. The easiest way to get there is to follow the high road north out of the city of Waterdeep, all the way up to Tribor. And from Tribor, you follow the road along the Desarin River at the northern edge of the Somber Hills into the high forest and to the mountain there where the river itself flows out of. So, as you make your way out of the city and begin your long trek out, I have to ask, do you move at a normal pace, at a fast pace, or at a stealthy pace?
I'm lost. I found
Yeah.
Waterdeep, but where are we going? The high road is along the
High,
coast.
excuse me, the not the high road, the long road north,
Oh, the long road, and
Yep.
then we're taking that.
Stopping
all
at
the way,
Tribor.
I
all
see
the
Tribor.
yep, and then you're gonna follow the Dasaran River east to that mountain. That mountain is the Lost Peaks.
I see the high
To the
forest.
mountain inside the high forest
Yeah, it's the
Yep.
one to the
with
left.
The one north of the Star Mounts.
Lost. All right, so I clicked the orange dot and it says Lost Peaks. Okay,
That's where you're headed. And for
That's
what
where
you're,
we're-
yep, and for your benefit, Julie, the Evermoors immediately north of that mountain is where your orc tribe is from.
Okay, so not far from, probably not. Where's the dwarf? Like, all right, so if we were in the Evermoors, where were the dwarves that we would raid from time
Right
to
at
time?
the Lost Peaks is where the dwarves was where you raided the dwarves, but you have raided
Oh.
all around this area at different points,
Good to know.
including Oslin's Hold, which you were repelled at one point, Everlund, which you successfully raided. Silvery Moon you did not touch because fuck that noise. It was way too well defended by the elves there. And Flint Rock nearby is where you would often set patrols to keep an eye out on things. It was a popular trade route along the Dasaran River, and it was not uncommon for you, especially in the summer months, to ambush trader caravans floating down the river.
Hey, Killy,
Yes,
where were we running around at in the last campaign? Just curious.
not too far.
From where
You know
we're
that this
headed?
you're going to go right through Red Larch.
Yes, we are. It's the third town north of Waterdeep. Just where it says Long Road, it's that red dot just below it.
I'm looking. I'm looking.
Wow, no kidding.
Oh yeah, sure enough.
Very cool.
So where's Kantarinville?
Well, it didn't get.
Kentarnville was
It
never
didn't
created.
get.
Womford is there, and it's actually just south of Summit Hall. It doesn't have a point there, but it's just south of Summit Hall. It's going to be a little ways off the road there.
To answer your question, Killy, I'm agnostic. I have regular pace, I guess.
I think
Unless
regular
anyone
pace
else has a
works
different
since
opinion.
I
Yeah.
think regular
You-
pace because we're not exactly hiding from anyone, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
regular pace for sure.
And
So,
yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I was going to say it's not life or death right this second, and it's not we're trying to hide from a group of people. So does that make sense to everybody else in the party?
Yeah, exactly my thoughts. Yeah.
All
Okay.
right. So, because this is a long journey and you are venturing through the dangerous wilds of Faerun, I'm going to say, as you make your way out of the city, having folks set in place, particularly Raynar, to kind of keep an eye over the inn or whoever you choose, you make your way north. A couple of days pass as you make your way through Rasta Lantar and Amphale. Amphale is where, as you pass through it, it's a suburb kind of outside of Waterdeep and has a lot of beautiful horses nearby. That first leg of the travel goes by without significant incident. It takes about 3 days at a normal pace to make your way from Amphale all the way up to Red Larch, and the road along there can be quite treacherous. As we make our way through different cities, we're going to stop at them. Maybe something will happen. We'll see. But we're going to need to roll to see if random encounters occur. So,
Yay!
I'm going to ask everybody to make stealth checks as we go along, and the DC for this is going to get higher and higher as you successfully dodge more and more encounters. If at any time you roll a 5 or lower, a random encounter of hard difficulty might occur. If at any time you roll a stealth check that critically fails, a deadly encounter may occur. So, over the course of 3 days between Amphale and Red Larch, for the first day, I need everyone to make their first stealth check.
Stealth. Where are you at?
And just to remind Kelly, I get to roll with advantage because I saw the boots of Elvenkind on.
Yes.
He's like, oh, fuck that. He goes, I'm not rolling a 1. Oh,
See, that's why. That's exactly why. I was like,
Treverin, Please roll a D100 for me.
Sweet.
I have disadvantage due to my new armor, correct?
You're
Or
you're
does-
riding in the
does-
carriage, so I'm not going to worry about disadvantage. Just this is more of a
It's
straight
not
up
like you're
check.
creeping through a
Oh,
dungeon.
all right.
Yeah.
No. Does magical armor negate that disadvantage?
No, not
No.
unless it specifically states it.
All right. No worries.
Okay. So on the first leg of the travel, flying overhead towards the den of the east, you see two. They almost look like flying snakes. They're very, very large flying snakes, almost the size of uh, almost the size of humans. As they kind of float down towards the carriage, they kind of circle around curiously. You see these snakes are more serpent-like than snake-like, and they have these large, brilliant, sort of multicolored wings as they kind of curiously look around. And as they look around at the both of you, you hear a voice in your head, Treverin, that says, "Child of the Fey Forest, the road ahead is difficult. Tell me, what are you doing along this path?"
I will just mentally say that just seeking adventure,
I'm
retracing my father's old stomping grounds.
I'm suddenly reminded of the end of Ghostbusters. If something asks if you are a
You are a
god,
god. You say it.
You watch as the light kind of dances off their rainbow wings, and they focus on you. As they focus on you a little bit, I need you to make Treverin and actually you, Kay. I need you both to make a wisdom saving throw for me, please. Okay. Treverin, you feel as if this creature is kind of probing into your thoughts and trying to read them, but you resist. Kay, you feel this psionic presence begin to kind of read through your thoughts and peer a little bit deeper. And as they kind of circle around, you hear the voice in your head go, "The power that you serve and that you are trying to seek. The goal is unclear. Know that the celestial powers that be will be watching you." And they kind of float up into the sky and circle around for about 30 minutes before they begin to kind of just fly off, leaving you with that warning, Kay.
Do we see what direction they fly in? I mean,
They fly towards the west,
okay.
northwest.
Okay.
So, all right. For the second day of travel, I need everyone to, again, make a stealth check for me.
Hey.
Okay. Singe, I need you to roll a D100 for me.
sure, hold on. They really ought to just have a thing that says D100 on the side. They have all the other ones.
Yeah, I know. Okay. So,
What the hell is that? Rolling
I,
DF?
I clicked on fudge, and that's what it rolled.
okay. So, in the den of the night of the second evening, find yourselves close to the Crypt Garden Forest, which is an ancient elven forest that also has some unknown ruins deep inside of it. As you're sitting around a campfire beginning to kind of eat in your dinner, you hear a clattering sound off in the distance. You look over, and you think you see something briefly out of the corner of your eye, but then it just fades and disappears. And you're like, "Huh, that was weird." And then you hear a behind you, and you see a large eight-legged creature that looks to be both blue and white, spawning very, very close to each of you. 3 of them in total. As they move in to try to take you for a snack. I need everyone to roll initiative.
Oh, shit.
All right. The caravan, the horses set off to the side. There's a little bit of a whinny, but they're tied down tightly. They kind of retreat. They're not sure what to make of this. Julie, you have your weapon drawn as these creatures immediately phase behind you, your battle instinct kicking in.
Julie's going to spin around and attack the spider.
Go for it. Hit. Crit miss. All right. You slash hard against the creature, and as you come and try to follow through on the backswing, the creature just takes one of its gigantic, sort of hairy arms and kind of knocks you back on your ass. Singe, what do you do?
Singer's going to cast Shield of Faith on himself,
Okay, bonus action, you increase your armor by 2.
and I am going to close with this one and attack it.
Okay,
Hold on. Warhammer one-handed.
all right. 13 connects. Go ahead and roll damage. Alrighty. You hit the creature across the face. It goes as it kind of recoils from the strike.
Okay, and that'll be it for my turn.
All right. Every one of the spiders are going to reach out and bite, starting with the first attack against Singe,
Miss.
which misses. This attack against Kay, which
Misses.
misses. And the attack against Julie, which that one I believe will hit. All right. Julie, you're going to take 4 piercing, and I need you to make a Constitution save. 4 piercing reduced to 1. Okay, DC is 12, so you take 12 points of poison damage. DC is 11, so you take 12 points of poison damage instead of 24. And then, as a bonus action on the turn, you watch as all of them fade from view. All right, Kay, what do you do?
So they just poofed away.
They just poofed away.
That's a good question. What do I do? Holy shit. I guess I'll try to see if I can find them.
Okay.
I don't see shit.
You don't see shit. All right, anything else for your turn?
I'm gonna pull out my lantern revealing.
All right. The funny thing is, you pull out the lantern revealing under the assumption that they're invisible. You kind of shine it around. You don't see them.
Cool. Then I'll guess I'll just ready an action to swing whatever comes next to me.
I'm going to say the action was using the lantern.
Okay. I just always had it in my belt, so I figured I'd just light it. That works.
All right, Treverin, what do you do?
I'm just gonna cast Mage Armor on myself and kind of just look around.
Okay. Droloff, what, if anything, do you do?
Got a question. Is there a tree in front of Singe anywhere?
I'd say probably about 20 feet away, but sure.
Because I'm curious if the spiders went up in a tree.
Are you going to try to perceive to see if they went up there?
Yeah, I'm going to look up at the tree. That would
Make a
be what, perception?
Yep. You have no idea.
See, shit. So I'm gonna move up next to Singe and hold my attack.
All right. Julie, what if anything do you do?
Julie will see if he can perceive them. Well, no, he's going to assume a striking pose and hold his action. If one of them appears within melee range, he's just going to attack it. So I'm just holding my action with the trigger that if they appear, I will melee them.
Okay. Singe, what if anything do you do?
Singe is going to do two things. Singe is I am going to cast this
All right.
and have a spiritual weapon, and I'll say a greatsword because it can take whatever form I think. Am I reading that wrong?
Nope, you're right.
Okay. And I'm going to have it uh, stand next to me, and I am going to ready an attack action uh, for anything that comes to attack me.
Okay. That we'll say that red circle is your spiritual weapon. You can just place it wherever you wish.
Okay.
All right. You watch as the spiders bamf back in. Those of you who are using held actions can use your held actions now.
Okay. Uh, once I find my thing.
All right. 20 hits.
And
All right. You hit that creature for 4 points. Did anybody else have a held action? I don't think
did.
you did, but
Julie did.
Julie did. Yeah, you're not within range of them though.
Am I in range or no?
Not in 5 feet, so I'm going to say no.
Can I shoot him
okay.
up?
do I attack with the weapon now or do I wait? Because it doesn't get a turn, the spiritual weapon.
You have to use it as a bonus action in your turn, if I remember the description correctly. Let me go ahead and turn that on so that we can take a look at it.
Yeah. Hold on. So I know
So
the casting is one bonus action, but it doesn't say. It says
as
when
a
you.
bonus action on your turn, you can move the weapon up 20 feet and repeat the attack against a creature. When you cast a spell, you make the melee spell attack, so it's a bonus action on your turn. All right. So the spiders phase in, and one bite against Singe, one bite against Kay, one bite against Treverin. Bite against Singe. 18 beat your AC?
Nope.
Not with the shield. All right, not with the shield of faith anyway. Against Kay. 23.
It will not.
Oh, nicely done. Okay. And then finally against Julie, not Julie, Treverin. Now I get the 8. All right, they all miss, and they are in view this time. Kay, you're up.
All right. Well, I gotta go for the smacks, right?
Longsword out. You hit both times. All right, you injure this creature. You hear as bits of blue, kind of bluish blood almost begins to kind of spew forth from it. It looks like it's about to keel over.
Well, then I might as well end it now, right?
All right, that's an extra
3d8.
3d8. The eldritch energy dancing off of your blades. Okay. The eldritch energy dancing off your blades, it kind of develops around the legs of this creature. It goes down. You do anything else for your turn?
Nope. That'll be it.
All right. Treverin.
Yes. Let's see. What do I want to do? I am going to. Okay. First thing I'm going to do is hitting this guy. I'm going to hit him with Firebolt.
Firebolt does not hit.
Okay. And then as my bonus action, since I'm in autumn, I am just going to bamf to right here and attempt to charm this guy.
Okay. Wisdom save from him. What's your DC?
My spell DC is 15.
15. Okay, he is charmed by you.
All right. And then I tell him to go attack his buddy.
All right. Gerloff, you're up.
Considering that one's charmed, I'm gonna move up and smack this. I'm gonna use what is that called? Reckless attack.
Reckless if you're going to roll with advantage, yeah.
Yeah. Sweet.
11, I'm afraid, does not hit. Neither does 10.
Wow.
That's some terrible rolls, I'm not going to lie. Ouch. All right. Anything else for your turn?
No.
That is paying for all his 20s early on.
I throw my dice as a bonus action. Julie, you're up.
Assuming Julie understands that this one is charmed, is going to move here and attack this one.
Okay. 25 and 14 both hit. All right. That one falls, and in the interest of time, I'm going to say that the charmed one, you watch as he just fades out of existence, and you are out of combat.
That's right.
All right. Go ahead and give yourselves the benefits of a long rest. All the other effects will fade from you as you manage to fight your way off and stave yourselves over the course of a long night's rest near the forest. Then I need you all to make one more stealth check for me.
Shit.
Oh. Singe D100 for me.
Sorry, folks. My dexterity is not a what do you call it?
Good.
It's not going to be much of an encounter, I don't think. You know what? I'm not even going to run that. It's the random encounter.
What
Am I looking
was
at the right table?
I fully suspect Killy's sitting in an encounter builder right now, building a new encounter for 32.
Oh, that's better. Okay, never mind. This is better. Okay. I was
I
looking
got
at
a feeling he
oh,
just went through the list and picked something.
So this is
No.
after the long rest, right?
This is after the long rest. This
All
is
right,
on the
so I
third
lost
day.
my mage
You
armor
are,
again. Okay.
yeah, you're about half a day out from the city along your riding horses and on the caravan itself. And
Oh, I don't like the laugh, Kelly.
Let's say I heard a giggle. That's not good.
okay. So, Treverin, you're riding on your riding horse. Kay,
Correct.
you're riding on your riding horse along the road here. The three of you, who's actually driving the cart, I should say?
The drunken dwarf.
The drunken dwarf.
By default, it's the dwarf. You should always presume he's drunk.
All right. So, you guys are traveling along this high road. You're just about half a day's travel out from the city. Some of you in the cart. And out from the nearby forest, you hear, "Revenge for Thodrak! For the
Dodrock.
Thodrak! Revenge
Think
for Thodrak."
Think Flintstones. It's easier to remember that way.
There you go. Revenge for Thodrak. And you see, as charging out from the nearby hills, ambushing you, is what looks like a big, tough-looking orcish dude surrounded by 8 other tough-looking orcish dudes that begin to swarm your caravan. Work. Orcs
Orc,
attack.
orc.
As they approach, I'm gonna say, Julie, I think you got some friends out here.
Julie, as they approach, the particularly mean-looking fella over here, you recognize was a close friend of Throdrak. Again, I'm sure I'm pronouncing that name wrong.
Just a little bit.
Thodrak. You recognize him as a friend of Thodrak's. His name was Glimpsh.
Grrr.
And as you kind of stop the caravan, readying yourselves for combat, it's already about 10:30, so we're gonna have to put this off till next time.
That's cool.
Sounds good.
Can't wait.
A few more encounters, a few more notable locations, and then the final trek to the Lost Peaks, where I have many things prepared.
Very nice.
Many lucky dues.
So, for your guys' benefit, as we work towards the rest of this little half part of the adventure, it can be up to you to decide where, if you wish to divert to other locations. Maybe Julie decides he wants to see his old tribe. I don't know. But the actual Waterdeep Dragon Heist book is finished with you guys having acquired the gold. So aside from a few more things I'm throwing in your direction, the next step then it would be to eventually transition from this to Dungeon of the Mad Mage, but after a few things are thrown at you first. When we do get around to that, I will need to probably get emails from you guys again, because the module is going to be loaded as a separate game. Those of you
Right.
who were part of the previous campaign know this, but unholy you wouldn't. Might need your email later on down the line again. If I don't already have it, it'll show up as an invite to a completely other game. It's basically we move from one module to another module. That's all. Your character will just be taken from this one and put into the other one.
Alright.
So, all right, Orcs attack.
Nice.
Very good.
Very good.
Very good.
Is
All right.
nice.
Going to bed.
All right.